All right. Noting the time in the presence of a quorum, I call the Foxborough Finance Committee meeting to order. Today is March 5th, 2024 at 7 p.m. We're coming by a hybrid meeting. We're in person in the Morris Hilberg room. I'm going to start with a roll call vote. John?
Present.
Kashava? Kashava, can you hear me?
Aye.
Okay. Gary?
Present.
Bob?
Present.
Tony?
Present.
Becky?
Present.
And Maria's present. Okay. First order of business is the minutes from February 27th, 2024. Did everyone see the minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments on them?
Move to approve. Second.
Okay. If there's no further discussion, I'll do a roll call vote. John?
Aye.
Kashava?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Tony?
Aye.
Becky? And Maria. Okay.
Can I just say the volume is better on this than it is ever in the Grange room?
This is true. We can hear everyone from home way better. And Gary, thank you. Minutes are like always so detailed. So when I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing for homework for the next meeting, I can just, it's great to be able to go back. Okay, we have Rajan is here. And Rajan is going to talk to us about Article 4, which is the personnel plan. Rajan, are you're a co-host, so do you have stuff you want to share? Do you want to share the article or whatever?
Yeah. I'm going to share it right now.
Okay.
Let me zoom in a little bit.
Okay, hold on a second. Are you trying talking again, Rajan?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little staticky for some reason, but we can hear you.
Let me see if I can adjust the... I'll cut off my video. Does that sound better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so just wanted to go over Article 4. So this is the annual amendments to the Personnel Administration Plan, as well as the classification and compensation schedule. For this, the Personnel Board split it up into 2 votes. So I'll just go over the first portion of Vote 1. So this one is just the administrative changes to the plan. For 8, I'll go over. So we've had a few. The Personnel Board made a few changes to the classification and compensation schedule. The first portion of it is to.
Yeah, I know. Rajan, hold on. I don't know how to fix this sound. So hold on a second. The sound's not coming through very clearly. John, can you hear him online on Zoom clearly?
I can hear him. Actually, yeah, I can. I can hear him perfectly.
Okay,
So
but
it's
now
gotta be our
you
speaker.
sound. So hold on, let me see. I gotta go to
Hold on one
so you
second.
look at the owl speaker. Okay, so we need the owl bar. It doesn't work, right? So maybe I go to audio settings and just turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, turn it down a little bit and see if that
Because
works.
the volume couldn't be any higher.
No. You click.
No.
I know, well, I was like,
Okay. Yeah, that's
this
right.
is the mic. But
Yeah, you got it right. You're
okay,
right.
all right.
Okay, Rajan, try speaking now.
Does this sound better?
No.
Not really. Background noise suppression. Do I want to try that?
Yeah, you guys
What
sound
do I
terrible.
try?
Say again, John.
You guys sound terrible.
We sound terrible, so it's this owl. That's gonna be a problem.
All right, then shut off the first one.
What
Where it says Zoom background,
Zoom?
right here, a little left to the bottom left, right there. Go shut that off. Yeah. All right, so go to
Says auto.
Hello.
Now try.
Yeah, John.
All right, can you hear me now?
It's
Not
not
really.
I mean, it's not much better. We can hear you, but it's
Try personalized audio resolution.
Really?
No,
No, because that's for headsets.
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Try high.
Try high.
High,
and see if that
okay.
works. Oh, no.
no, I can't do it.
I'm gonna download software for that.
And I don't Kirby would mad at me. Live performance audio. Are you performing?
Yeah, I mean, we can hear you, you guys. I mean, you just have a tremendous amount of echo, that's all. I mean,
So we have echo, but there's so much static coming through the speaker, it's hard to actually hear you. When Rajan gets to really talking, when you get to really talking, it's hard to hear you.
But you said there's an echo, because I can do echo canceling speaker at the owl bar. You did
Yeah.
not hear you. Should I
and
try that?
Rajan, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
We don't have,
I want that.
yeah, that's.
No, that's our microphone.
Yeah.
So go to the speaker and see.
What options are up there?
That's the owl bar also, that's the speaker.
If you can't
You
hear
told me we had to have that on.
Is there another option for Owl? Are there two options for Owl? Up 3 were.
What's the drop down on echo and
Go back up there and see what the drop down is.
For what?
Echo
Right,
canceling
right.
speaker, yeah, see what the drop down is. That's not gonna help, right? Because
you
we
could
do,
try it on the Samsung.
because that would be the TV. All right, try that.
Try that.
Top one?
No.
Bottom one.
Okay, now speak, one of you. Rajan?
How does this sound now?
Oh, there you go, perfect.
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Good job.
Hey, well, Kirby was wrong. We should, I didn't have to spend time with him.
What was the change you just made?
So what was the setting?
It was, we went from the owl setting to the Samsung HD audio driver for display audio.
So we're transmitting through the TV screen now rather than from the owl speaker.
Right,
Okay.
Okay.
all right, go ahead, Rajan.
Okay, so I'll start over. So this is so for the personnel administration plan, 2 votes. I'll just go over start with section A of vote 1 for the administrative changes to the plan. For the first portion of it is for the classification and compensation schedule. So for this, the Human Services Director, this is actually a retitle of one of the previous positions, and that was the Council on Aging Community Services Director. So this was retitled, and a new job description was drafted for this position. Also, the Recreation Services Coordinator was added to the compensation schedule, and it's going to be added to the schedule at a proposed grade 14 to keep it in line with the Community Services Coordinator as well as the Council on Aging Coordinator. Also, one thing that the Personnel Board did at the request of both the fire and police departments is they wanted to regrade the deputy fire chief because that was regraded lower than the other ranking per diem officer positions. They also wanted to add 2 new positions on there, which was the call firefighter and call EMT position. So those are essentially the positions lower than the per diem firefighter EMT, but they stated since they do have call firefighter and EMTs that participate, they want to include them as part of the schedule. So those are 2 new positions that are added to this the per diem intermittent plan. Job descriptions were also drafted for those 2 positions as well. At the request of the police chief, he requested that the special police officer be deleted from the schedule because they call them reserve police officers. So we deleted that, and then also working with Payshana of the library, they decided to retitle the substitute librarian to a substitute library assistant because that was more consistent with what the position does. And then for section B, a lot of the changes for this came from the police department, the fire department, as well as from the library. So it was some additions and modifications to the employee categories. So one of them was we actually had language in there before where we had reference to for a library position for a regular full-time employee, but they weren't considered a 40-hour employee. So consulting with the library director, we struck that language from the personnel plan because a regular full-time employee should be 40 hours, not 33. We actually have, for an employee who works over 20 but less than 40 hours, we actually have a classification in the plan. They're considered a regular reduced time employee. So it just didn't make sense to have one position be an outlier for that classification. The other one is for the per diem workers, some more language cleanup with deleting the special and changing it to reserve police officer, as well as for any positions that are classified as per diem EMTs, the references refer to the call firefighter EMT per diem and the per diem ranking positions. And some more language cleanup to change from special to reserve police officers, to strike that language to make it consistent with how the police department operates. The other one actually is another cleanup from the police department, and this one is to make the current pay consistent with what career police officers have, and that is essentially to change not only the reserve police officer but also the police lieutenant, because that language wasn't referenced previously. Since the lieutenant is a part of the personnel administration plan, the police chief wanted to add that language in there. Although the lieutenant currently doesn't do any details, in the future event that other lieutenants may do details, the chief wanted to make that language consistent, just to have something to cover the lieutenant in the case that they do take details in the future.
Rajan?
Yes.
Can I ask a question? Right there where you're reading, should the word in D1 where it says town details, a special reserve, should the word special be struck from there? Because you're striking it up above where it says Article 3.
Yeah. Thank you for that catch. I'll make sure that that's reflected in the final language, but that should be a strike through right there.
You actually have it up a little bit further where it says amendment section 3, right there. Where you have the word special, you should strike that there as well.
Okay.
And Rajan, just to confirm, that time and a half detail rate is the same as what's in the union contract, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so if that gets changed at the next negotiation, right, which is next year, do we then need to make a manual change to the language? Should this, this is up to the personnel plan, but should this be just like whatever's reflected in the current union contract? So
Yes,
we don't
they actually have language in there to where it doesn't need to be changed as a part of the annual personnel administration plan. So any changes for the rates, they just have to go in front of the select board for approval from the personnel board. So that's something that doesn't have to be changed every year, but it can be changed with a vote from the select board.
Okay, so we don't need to change it at town meeting then if the contract changes?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
And then for the next section of it, so the private details, this is essentially to have it line up with what's currently in the police unions, what's in their collective bargaining agreement. And this, so Chief Shefchik came to us to ask us to make that change, just to have it consistent to where reserve police officers are getting paid. They aren't getting paid less than what their counterparts, career firefighters are. So this is just a language cleanup. This actually went in front of the select board for them to approve the detailed language change, but we're putting it in here just to make it consistent for the personnel plan, so as a part of the updates.
So the current language to be deleted and replaced with this revised language, that section A that starts from 7 a.m. to, that's just in the personnel plan, that's not in the contract itself.
So the current language is what's in there, but this is just mirroring what's in the police contract.
Mirroring what's in the police contract. Okay, so the language that starts from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, A, cross out special, yada, yada, yada. That's what's in the current police contract?
Yes,
Okay, all right. And that's already been changed with the vote of the select board?
yes, it has.
Language, okay, thank you.
So I'm sorry, I missed something. So when the contract gets changed,
Yeah,
at the next town meeting, we have to modify this language then?
they can, but in the meantime, when the contract gets signed,
Like this
select board
language?
can make the change.
Can't make the change.
Right, and then when they do the cleanup at the next town meeting, they should clean it up then. Okay.
So that's the language change for this. The next one is, so this was for the police, special police officers and the lieutenant. The next one is for the firefighters. So this change is for the per diem firefighters working the private details. So it's essentially just making it consistent with what's in the firefighter language for per diem firefighters to match what the detailed language is for career firefighters.
Rajan, can I just ask a quick question?
Yes.
That's John. So above there, there'll be no cost borne to the town. Make that statement. So are we sure like this does not apply to any, like if some town committee required an extra detail, this does not apply to them? Is that correct? None of this would apply to them?
Right. Yes, the town doesn't get charged for details, John.
Okay.
This is for private details, and then the region gets charged, but you can see at the bottom of that paragraph, it says any AB district, they get charged at a slightly different rate. But these are all private detail rates.
Okay, so the town has its own capability to call the police as a resource.
I believe so, yes.
Well, that was my question.
Yes.
Because, Rajan, is there a section for a private detail at the town, at a different town rate?
That's just paid overtime.
It would be overtime.
They just get paid overtime, and there was, in our expense budget, there used to be a line, and I don't know, under salary, this is police detail, which caused chaos with people because they didn't understand it. But that police detail in the budget line was the overtime for in-town police
For
detail.
like Piper's Day.
No, right, we're all talking the same thing.
That's all
Yeah,
overtime.
okay, yeah, right. I just want to make sure that language was still there, that the town, in this case, if they had to pay for a firefighter, the town.
Because this specifically says, language in the contract says, working a private detail will be compensated at the rate of.
So I don't understand, what's the last line in there?
So the last line is, when we negotiated this contract, because I actually negotiated that portion a few years ago, they wanted an increase in the detail rate, but were willing to give a break to the region. Because
What's town mean there though?
I don't know what town means, because that was specific to the region. AB school district and town funded and sponsored event details.
So that's like, well,
Yeah, so that's new language. I don't know if they added that after I negotiated.
Which town?
well, that would be like, just Winterfest. See, that would be like Winterfest.
Town funded, would be like Winterfest, Run BXB.
So is it, can you go, so is that just for the firefighters? Is that for police as well? Because I thought that was all overtime.
I agree.
I see it's private.
So that's for firefighters, and then because I believe that's in their contract for police.
Hey, John, can I ask you to get around the whole parity issue? Because I didn't think we were allowed to like say, hey, okay, these guys aren't union, but they're gonna get the benefit of the negotiated contract. So how do we get around that?
How did we, or how?
I mean, I don't understand how like we can just take the language out of the contract and put it in the personnel plan because the union guys negotiated it, right? So like it's not supposed to be, well, just whatever the union.
That's what they want.
Well, I just am wondering, because I'm like, I wonder if it's legal.
Okay.
I mean, they also get additional benefits. A lot of what the per diems get is just pay. So,
Okay.
like, they don't get the stipends, they don't get like the benefits. So, a lot of it is just the wages.
Okay, so to be clear, hold on a second, because we're skipping, like that question took us out of the question, right? So the question on the table is, that's the language that's in the police contract. which is about private details.
Right.
The language about the town funded is in the fire contract. That was added this year to the fire contract.
So what we're saying is then that police do not get paid details for town events.
Right, they get paid overtime. Is that correct, Rajon?
Yes, they get an overtime rate.
But firefighters do
They get paid detail time, apparently, yes.
for town-funded events.
Right, but, yes. And most of the details, I do remember talking to them about details, most of their details are like if there's a build out when Bible Logics was building out and they were welding, they had welders, they needed to have someone there the whole time.
But that's a private event.
That's a private, yes, so, but they said it was very similar. They don't do details like the police do details for Fighter's Day, right? So, but that they get paid by detail hourly.
But there should be language in both unions as far as a lower rate for town work.
Not necessarily, it's how it gets contracted. So we're not gonna get into how the contracts are, you know, we just, if this language mirrors the contract, that's the way it's been for the last year or two since it's been done. And it just needs to mirror it and it needs to be budgeted properly for the town funded kind of overtime for details and stuff. We're not gonna get into the nitty gritty of how the language and the contracts are, because that's not our purview.
That last line should read, any Acton Boxford district or town.
We can't change that, that's contract language. So how it should read, then Mike can make note of that. And
Terrible English.
Oh, you need to read the contracts. The contracts in general are terrible English. You know, when you read it, you're like, oh my God, who wrote this? It's attorney, so, yes. Attorney, yes, it's attorney speak. So, okay, go ahead.
But hold on. So you
Yeah.
just answered the first question, but Becky's question is still open, correct?
What was Becky's question?
Becky's question is about parity.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant to us, because we can't, that's not within our purview. Becky wants to know how legally they're doing that. That's between,
I just want, it's the personnel plan that I'm wondering about, because they're just taking what's in the contract and popping it in here.
Right. We're talking about non-union people, so it's not a contract.
I don't know, Mike, do you have any thoughts on this? And I assume, Rajon, that this has also been checked by council, this language changes?
This has not gone to council yet, as far as I know. The question on, what was the question for me?
It was about parity, Mike, because if this is literally what's in the contract, I don't know how then the guys who are non-contracted, or the gals, just get to benefit from the contract. Like, there are laws about parity, right? And like what you can and can't do. So I'm just wondering if it's okay.
So this is the personnel plan, which actually is the contract for our non-union employees. I'm not aware of anything within 150E that says that we can't use the same detail rate for our reserve and for our per diem, police and firefighters, to put that in there. We haven't negotiated any benefits or anything else. But I think that two people, I mean, we could have a reserve police officer and a regular full-time police officer standing side by side doing the same detail. And I think they should be paid the same rate. And same goes for a career firefighter and a per diem firefighter. If the two of them are on a welding, detail on a construction site, I think, as do the two chiefs think, that they ought to be paid comparably. We will check with council on this, but I don't believe that we're violating any negotiating rights here.
Okay, so we answered all the questions on the table. Okay, all right, go ahead, Rajon.
No. And then, so for the next session, this was language that was presented that they wanted to include as part of updates to the personnel administration plan for per diem firefighting and EMTs. And this is just so overtime rate for any worked over 50 hours in 1 week, and then in excess of shifts. The next addition is just for fire department callbacks and public education is essentially making sure that they're compensated for any callbacks and any public education for the 4 hour minimum. And then the next one is just which I talked with Captain Malinowski on. It's just clean up language for the holidays, because we ran into this previously where if if a per diem firefighter worked actually on the holiday instead of the day that it was recognized, that they weren't getting compensated properly. So this is just language to make sure that they're covered for the actual date of observance, as well as just making sure that. So this is just language cleanup for that for New Year's.
Is this all budgeted? Because this is like, it's just language cleanup, but that adds to the budget. And I'm not debating whether it should or not, but like, if all of a sudden, if we weren't paying them a time and a half for holidays and now we are, is that all budgeted properly?
So they were actually being compensated, but so the issue was when a person worked on the day they were observed, they would get the pay, but let's say the actual day of the holiday, they weren't getting the pay. So it's more so just making sure that the language is consistent for the holidays. So that was the issue that they ran into. One of the issues was, for one of them, was when we actually introduced Juneteenth as a part of it, and we didn't know how to calculate that overtime rate for employees. They wanted to focus on just New Year's, Independence Day, and Christmas Day, and so for actual January 1, July 4th, and the 25th, and not just the actual observance day by the state law. So that was the issue that they ran into. So somebody could work on December 25th and not get the overtime rate, but like, let's say that Monday, so they could work on that Sunday and not get the time, but the person who worked on the, like, let's say the 26th of that Monday, they would get the pay. So it's more so that.
Right, but that is a budget that impacts the budget, because now we've added 3 days of time and a half versus, right? I just want to make sure that we're not going to end up in a situation, and I don't even know what the holidays look like this year, but it doesn't matter this year going forward. I just want to make sure that we're taking that into account, whatever small amount that is. If they work Sunday the 25th currently, they don't get paid time and a half, but if they work Monday the 26th, that's the observed date, they get time and a half. Now, by this language change, they get time and a half for both those days, correct?
No.
Is that correct, or am I reading that wrong?
So it says like January 1st, July 4th, and the 25th, and not the actual date of observance.
Okay,
so
I'm sorry.
It's the actual day versus the observed holiday.
So we're not adding time and a half, we're just changing the date that they get the time and a half. Okay, got it, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drag that out, okay.
But there was a bigger question here though, which is what is the budgetary impact of all of these personnel plan changes?
Right, and has that been built into the budget?
It's in the budget, yeah.
Right,
My assumption was it's in the budget, but I mean, I don't know that.
You want to hear that, because they were,
Yeah.
one year, the per diem firefighters were not, a couple of years ago, they were not budgeted. Mike, are all these changes budgeted properly?
So I'm going to ask Jason that question because he did all the per diem inputs to this personnel plan, and he also did the budget. I will ask him tomorrow, when he built the budget, were these changes built into that? I'll find that out and have an answer tomorrow.
That would make me feel better, because that per diem number isn't really going down, even though we're hiring people, and that was one of our questions. This could be one of the reasons that that's not gone down as much as we had anticipated, because we're adding dollar benefits here. So, okay, that would be great, because that's really important to know.
Sure.
And Mike, my only question is, the holidays that they listed here, where did they come from? Because why isn't Thanksgiving Day here?
Because there's no second observance for Thanksgiving, there's only Thanksgiving Day. Any of these days, if it falls on a Sunday, you observe the Monday.
Oh.
This is about observance days versus actual days.
holidays.
No, only applies.
Only applies to these three
These three are the only movable holidays in the calendar.
that they care about.
Memorial Day is always observed on the last Monday of May. Labor Day is always observed on the first. It's never, you don't observe Labor Day on that Tuesday,
But Veterans Day,
but that's Veterans Day, and that is observed on whatever day
but
it falls.
it could be it's always the 11th.
Oh,
And
that's true.
sometimes the 11th is on a Sunday.
Right,
and
well,
then
these are the only ones I care about.
these are the only ones that cared about. I mean,
Okay, all right, that's it. Yeah, just let it go for now, but I want to make sure that doesn't become an issue later on.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I.
So
Okay.
for the next session, this is for vacation. So this one was, we got a lot of feedback on wanting to change the vacations because of just how vacations were calculated as well for the accrual rates. Work with Payshawn on this one. And just hearing some feedback from different department heads. So one thing that we got a lot of feedback on was the date of hire to the 1 year. And what the town has done previously was vacation accruals began on July 1. So, and depending on the time of year when somebody's hired, they may have to wait a little bit longer for when they actually are able to get their accrual rate to go up for 1 year. So one thing that Mike and Naomi and I talked about is changing the date of hire. Instead of doing July 1 for the accrual calculation for each one of their service years, we're doing their anniversary date. And the personnel board actually put some additional language in here for the accrual period, because one thing they had in there before was just work days instead of specific hours. So on this third row, we just calculated the total amount of hours versus just the 22 work days, because that was pretty confusing for everybody, especially for department heads when they were trying to figure out the accruals for the employees.
Does this change anything? Just
The only thing-
budgetarily, does this change anything?
It says it changes.
Budgetarily, it doesn't change anything,
Okay.
but it's going to make things, I think, a lot more predictable and especially a lot more fair for all employees. So employees that get hired early in the fiscal year are waiting a lot longer for their accruals to change, whereas people hired late in the fiscal year, it's very unequal. This will be, everybody waits a year and it changes. So there'll be a little bit of administrative work on the backside of this for us to implement it, but there's no cost implication.
Okay, thank you.
For the next session, so this is just continuing on just accrual rate for just employees. And one thing that the personnel board put in here is just the calculation, especially for part-time or reduced hour employees. And then just for the second vote, what the vote was for is just for the 3% wage adjustment for FY25. They approved it 2 meetings ago, but this is just for the personnel administration plan for the 3% wage adjustment for non-union employees,
Right, so we've already voted.
non-union, non-contract employees.
Yeah, so we've already voted this. Well,
Hey, Rich, you just mentioned that right in here above, it says regular reduced hours and regular part-time. They're getting vacation now? Anything related to part-time?
yeah, that was last year. That was added, no, that was added, Carter added that, I believe, that was under.
So that was about 2 town meetings ago.
Yeah, 2 town meetings ago.
Okay.
That.
And we've identified the difference between per diem and part-time as far as.
Yes,
vacation.
that's in the categories at the beginning of the personnel plan for part. So it's regular part-time and then per diem.
Okay, great, good, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, and then, I'm sorry, so go down to the second vote is for the rate, but we've already done that.
Yeah, we worked on it.
Yes, this is just the personnel board's vote for the rate.
Right, okay, and that's what vote 2 is?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not clear when you read this, Rajan, because it doesn't say vote 2 anywhere.
Oh.
In the article, in the warrant itself, yeah, so that's, because last week I couldn't find vote 2, I knew that there was 2 votes, but I was confused.
There you go.
So, okay, yeah, now it does, okay. All right, so is there any questions?
So the one comment is remove
Yeah.
special,
Yeah.
where it's reserved.
Yeah,
And then, as Jean did, Article 2, vote 2.
okay.
Well, and the budgetary impact. Yeah.
Right, so I think this is, and Sean Gray, Sean, are you on the meeting now?
He was, hold on, but he's not,
I see him.
yeah, but anytime, we
Oh,
need to
okay.
unmute him.
There it is.
Jeez, what did you do?
I don't know, I tried to.
Did you like bounce him?
No, it's right here, hold on.
There you go.
This is a lot of pressure, I'm just saying. Hold on, Sean, I'm trying to unmute you in a while.
Okay,
You know what,
all right.
Sean, I'm gonna make you a co-host, then you can unmute yourself.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay, Sean, can you?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, Sean.
Okay. I have a question, Mike was gonna ask Jason tomorrow, but since you hopped on the changes to the personnel plan with respect to the per diem changes with the details and various other vacation and all of that, that's all, it all has a budgetary effect. Did you guys budget for all of that?
Details should just be because that's a swap out. You front the money and it comes back. Vacation and sick or whatever that is, I do not believe the per diems fall into that, from what I was told.
There was wasn't there another thing that, Rajan, wasn't there a second thing that was added that affected the budget?
It was the holiday you mentioned, but I
Oh,
didn't
the
think that.
holiday. The holiday, yep, the holiday change, on the observance, but shouldn't have a budgetary impact, because that we're just swapping those.
Yeah.
So with respect to the rates on the details, that would all be budgeted, correct?
Well, we get it back, it's like,
You don't have to, you really don't budget.
you front it,
Yeah.
but then you get it back.
Unless it's a town event.
But unless it's a town event.
There was, I got on late because I was at another meeting. I know with what I watched, what I'd read Rajan had sent out a few weeks ago, the couple items, unless something's changed, that wouldn't have been calculated for the budget would have been the money with respect to how training falls in the course of a week. And I think there was one other item, because if it pushes them over 50 hours in a work week, then we didn't cover the overtime.
And that was not budgeted?
No.
Oh, so there is budgetary impact and it's not budgeted.
But I think the impact on it would be extremely small. And also too, I think there was also something on there, if they're held over, Rajan can correct me if I'm wrong, but there was something about if you're on a regular shift and you're held over, like a call runs late or anything, that next hour is automatic time and a half. So it doesn't matter if you're over 50 hours, that 1 hour, I believe it was written the new way, is that they get paid overtime for that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's a change in the personnel plan, Rajan?
Yes, it is. That's I got that language from Captain Malinowski. That's what he wanted to add in there, especially for any time in excess over the 50 hours worked in a week. And that includes the public education courses too.
But the holdover, I thought, regardless of whether it's 50 hours, is an automatic time and a half when they go past the shift in general. I thought that's the way it was worded.
Yeah, in excess of their shift hours when required in emergency or safety threatening situation.
Okay.
Yeah, so none of that would have been budgeted because there's no way to predict that. It's like callback. There's no real, we could guess on it, but there's no numbers. I know though none of those numbers, to my knowledge, were put in.
Okay.
Because all this wording came late.
So Mike, so I don't know what to do with this. What do I do with this? Like,
The public's fine. I don't think
it's gonna be minimal, right?
It's gonna be minimal, I think, yeah.
Okay. all right. So, I wish we had a number around it, but okay, I agree, it'd probably be pretty minimal. Okay. All right, is there any other questions for the or for the chief, the interim chief, or Mike, or Rajan?
Well, Sean, Becky had a question.
Mike's gonna be-
Okay.
That's a legal question
That's fine.
about the contract. We're not gonna go down the rabbit hole about that.
All right, no, I don't know.
Okay.
What was that, Bob? I missed something, or?
No, never mind, never mind.
There's a question off topic that Mike's gonna look into. It's a legal question that Mike's gonna look into.
Okay.
Okay, Rajan, do you have anything else on that article?
That's it. The only other thing was just the change in the compensation schedule, and that was just to reflect the 3% increase.
Okay, and we've already done that.
Can I just ask a quick question? Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
Rajan, can you bring up the grid? You get a grid at the end?
Yeah.
Becky, can you, excuse me, Maria, can you display it? Or whoever else?
Actually, Rajan's gonna display it for you.
Yeah, the step schedule. There you go. So just for my clarity, so like for like you've got the RecCom coordinator highlighted.
Mhm.
When you say exempt and non-exempt, are those all applying? So like for on row or grade 14,
Mhm.
you've got another row there that says 3131. So is that the non-exempt? I just want to make sure I understand this correctly. So is that the non-exempt row?
Yeah, so that would be, yeah, if for the position, if it's a non-exempt, just do the hourly rate for it.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you just may want to add it there. And
Yeah.
And secondly,
Exempt
Yeah.
column right here, and yeah, do like a non-exempt line.
row, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just go down to 13 and again. I'm sorry, just for my clarity. So on row 13, the way you have it listed is it makes it look like the information service librarian is non-exempt. Is that correct?
Yes.
It is correct.
Yeah. So yeah, the technical services and information services librarian are listed as non-exempt, and I believe the youth services librarian is exempt.
Okay. So what you're saying is, for example, okay, so that definitely applies. So row 11 is all non-exempt, but row row 12, the assistant town accountant is exempt, correct?
Yes.
But then there's no salary associated with it.
I can put in a salary line for it.
It's the same hourly rate, right, Rajan?
Yeah, but it would be the same hourly rate for it.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like I'm nitpicking here, but you guys are going to drive salaries off this, so it's going to impact us eventually.
Hold on, John, because we go back to number 14 then, because like you've got the recreation services coordinator, the town clerk, temporary town clerk, the council and aging coordinator, and the community services coordinator. They're all exempt positions, right?
No, you said Rajan was non-exempt.
Right. So.
Well, okay, wait, because I'm confused because.
I have a question on this as well.
Okay,
Well, that's not good.
I don't understand. It's like Wendy's sitting right here, but I know she's not 40 hours. But so she's probably not getting that much of the salary. But is her salary like prorated, or is she getting the hourly rate?
It's prorated for 25 hours, so it's the hourly rate.
So she's getting the hourly rate, but she's exempt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why would the recreation services coordinator be exempt also?
How many hours is that?
It's 19 and a half. I think the assistant town accountant should also be non-exempt.
So interesting, because this is the same thing that we've had for 100 years, and these questions have never been asked, and we just add. It's not like they changed anything other than adding rec services coordinator and human service director, right? Everything else has been the same. So,
Okay, so my point is, I think we need some clarity between the breakdown between column B and column C. I'm not sure that is consistent. I think somebody needs to review that to make sure that it's very clear and accurate.
And can I also ask a question on the Human Services Director? I thought that was just gonna be a stipend on top of a different position. And if it's a stipend, it doesn't flow up, right? I mean, like if you take,
That should be on the other list.
yeah,
That
if
should
you
be on
take
the
the
stipend
council
list.
on aging coordinator, the community services coordinator, the recreation, whoever you give the job to, if you add $10,000, it doesn't automatically, like if you go from 70,000.
It's not a stipend. It's going to be an internal promotion of one of our human services positions, either community services or council on aging, and it will be an increase in, it'll be a bump in grade and in addition to some hours, that combination not to exceed $10,000. So it's not a stipend.
All right,
Oh, I thought it was stipend, okay.
So the only cleanup really is a rec.
So can a takeaway for this, Mike, be a cleanup on this? Is that the right phrasing, or ask for clarity?
As far as the exempt and non-exempt, that we're going to run past, anytime we get into that, we run that past town council and we go through the exact definition of exempt and non-exempt and show the town council the job description and who supervises them and what their span of responsibilities are. So we'll get that clarified with those couple of positions.
Yeah, I'm speaking really just to this grid specifically, but. All right, and then one more thing, sorry. There was a position called technical liaison. Who is that?
Where is that?
Right there, right there, right there.
So that's an old position that right now isn't being used. That was a stipend we were paying the previous police chief for technology. And I don't believe it's being used now, correct, Mike?
That's correct. It's not being used.
So it's not budgeted anywhere.
Correct.
Okay.
In fact, the next one down also is not. We have a finance director stipend of $6,000. That's something that is not being used right now, and we don't intend to use that.
Okay. That can be cleaned up next year. If we hire a finance director, then we can just, ask the personnel plan to clean that up. Personnel.
So these are scheduled but not budgeted necessarily. Okay.
Right. They're all positions that are available. Some of them exist, like the cemetery superintendent exists, so that's budgeted. But other positions may not exist. They exist on paper, but we may not have a person doing it.
and we don't have a budget for it.
And we don't have a budget.
Like, I really don't know that we any longer have a field driver in the budget. That's just one of the old-fashioned things that we used to have.
How do we take care of our cows?
That's our animal control person or something like that, but I don't think we actually have a I'm sure we do not have a budget that says field driver and,
I thought we moved it and merged it with some other position.
Yeah, we did.
But anyway, it's still there, probably for old time's sake, but we don't actually have that person anymore.
Okay.
Thank you.
But, okay. So, all right, so do we have any other questions on this? All right, are we comfortable voting this?
Yeah.
All right, so I hold on a second. Okay.
I was gonna move, because
I need to bring it up.
It's easier for Gary if it's the same people moving stuff.
Yeah, I just need to bring up the warrant so I can make
Can we bring it up?
We're gonna do two motions, right?
I was gonna do, well, yes, I guess you can do two.
Stand by, say again?
Can we look at that question from Mike, the town council?
Yes, because that's just a legal question. Because what happens is, if town council says, right, there's a parity issue, they need to change the language. So we would have to revote it anyway. We're revoting what the draft is right now.
Okay.
All right, hold on, can I just get to,
Screen share?
yeah, okay. Screen share. Zoom. Screen share. Here's screen. Front. Okay, so I'm bringing this up. I need to get to it though. Okay. You can go ahead and make it.
Okay, I move for the first vote that we recommend the language changes in the personnel.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, okay, is there any further discussion on that? Okay, roll call vote. John?
Aye.
Shava?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Tony?
Aye.
Becky? And Maria's aye, so.
Okay.
Now, vote 2 we've already done,
Oh, we already voted vote 2, okay.
right? Because vote 2 would be the same vote we took last week
When we did the stipend.
when we did the 2-3%.
Right.
I mean, if you want to do it again, we can do it again.
Vote 2 is the 3%.
Yes.
So we've already done that. That was unanimous last week. I'll go, I need to get that vote.
Well, you know what, how about I just do it right now, so it'll be in the
All
order.
right, good.
I move that we recommend vote 2, which is the 3% COLA.
I'll second that.
Okay. It's not just, well, it is, I guess, overly all of them is there. Okay. John?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
Kashava?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Tony? Becky? And Maria's aye. So that's again 8-0. Okay, can you open that up so I can see the
yes.
the participants?
Everybody?
Yeah, that's why I missed Kashava because I wasn't, okay, I know visual, yep. Okay, so Rajan, I think we're done with you. Unless
No.
you're welcome to stay and hang out.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. That was great. That was very helpful.
Thank you, Rajan.
All right, have a good night.
You. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing this because we have to revote some budgets. And then we'll go back to that. We have to revote, I have to get the budget up.
There's some we haven't voted yet at all anyways, like library.
Which we can vote
We can vote that now. But I have to get the one that was sent out today, late day. Just download that. I didn't get a chance to do that. I'm sorry. I was a little discombobulated this afternoon, so we got some changes that I sent out today that Mike sent late day today on budgets that we've already voted. So I want to revote those budgets and then we can do the library budget as well. So Becky, shoot,
Maria.
you can't
You
share
know my
this.
budget?
No, it's okay. You can't do
No, I
that.
can't.
I'll do it.
I mean, I can get it on my computer into the Zoom meeting.
No, that's okay. 3, 5.
What are the changes that one today?
Yeah, I need you to, can you tell me what the changes are, because
Budget
that's,
174 land use,
so let's go to
vehicle
that.
maintenance.
Is this in order of, okay, 174 land
It's all
use?
of what Mike sent to us.
Okay, what was the change on land use?
So he's increased vehicle maintenance to 5,500 from 1620.
Okay,
So there'll be a new number in the budget.
I'm sorry, what's the new number?
5,500.
What do you want the total?
I'm showing the total. I just want to know what the changes are and why.
Oh,
You had the description, so.
Okay, yeah, so he's changed, so increase in vehicle maintenance to 5,500 from 1620 because they're gonna fix the corrosion issues on the truck.
And we're gonna take that off the
Rather
warrant.
than buying a new
Okay,
truck, yeah.
okay, so that's good. So that saves us some money there. And then what was the other one?
So budget 511, which is Board of Health.
Okay, hold on one second. Can we revote this one
Okay,
then?
yeah, sure.
I'll
I'll move budget 174, total other dairy, $29,130. Total budget 174, $338,886.
Second.
836?
886.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, so is there any questions about that? Everyone understands how we're doing that, what we're doing? Okay, roll call vote. So John,
Aye.
Shava,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
George,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Becky, and Maria. Okay, aye. All right, next one is?
So Board
Just
of
an
Health,
FYI, I've already updated the capital plan for next year for the truck.
Okay, great, thank
Oh,
you.
so we don't, so, but you could take it off here, right?
it's been taken off already.
Yeah, we've
Not the
already
warrant.
taken it off the warrant.
Come on the warrant, not the bus.
Right, yeah, okay, yep, okay.
So okay, budget 511, Board of Health, there's two things here. One is mosquito control is going up to 36,436 from 34,800.
Can I just say that that mosquito control is ridiculous? That started at $12,000 when
It's
we
just
first
not
started
doing
doing
it.
that.
Help the wildlife.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have to, they have to make that decision, but, okay, and then the landfill was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
wait.
what's the new mosquito increase number?
The new number is 36,436.
Thank you.
Well, it's only a 5% increase. It's,
I know there was a big increase last year, there was a sizable increase last year, and we knew there would be
Yep.
some increase this year, but, it just seems ridiculous. I mean, this literally started at like less than $12,000 when we first had it on.
I know, but this is the helicopter flying, right?
Yes.
Okay, so,
Price of fuel.
And then the landfill monitoring is gone to 10,350. It was 7,500.
Okay, so that's a lot.
So that's a lot. Did Alec mention why, Mike?
No, I asked him. So I got the letter about the mosquito control from from the state or whatever, but I haven't gotten the letter yet. But Alec, or at least the Board of Health got that letter. I asked him for that letter. He's going to get that for me tomorrow. So I don't know the reasoning, but that is the exact number that it's going up to.
Okay, and it's not like we have a lot of options, but it would be
Right.
nice to know what the increase is.
All right, budget 511, I move total other 77,131. Total Board of Health, 77,131.
I'm sorry, I did too fast.
77,131.
There you go again. I'll second that.
Sorry.
And total other was also 77.
Yeah, they're all the same, there is no salary.
And Audrey seconded.
Is there any other further discussion on this? Okay, Kashaba,
Aye.
John,
aye.
Gary,
Aye.
George,
Abstain.
Gary, abstain,
Oh, abstain.
George. Oh, you said aye already. Bob,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Becky, and Maria. Aye.
7-0.
What's the next one?
Budget 912, cow insurance. So police and fire accident is going up to 69,225 from 67,600.
69,225. Okay. All right. And that's the only change on that one? Okay.
69225.
Yeah.
69,225.
What budget number is that?
Budget 912.
13 and 920. 912, 913, and 920. I don't know why it's like that.
Okay, so Gary, do you want me to do like budget 912?
It is 912, because that's the code in there, right?
Yeah, so budget 912 is going to be $95,225.
Yeah.
And then do
And
total.
then total other insurance is $244,125. I move those both.
244.
125.
Thank you. And Bob.
Okay.
I'll second it. Wait, I'll second 912, 913, and 920.
Yeah, okay. Is there any further discussion on that? Okay, John,
Aye.
Shaba,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
George,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Becky, Maria. Aye. Okay, that's unanimous. Is there any more?
No.
Okay, now we have to go back to library.
We also have to go back, didn't we hold the one where we deficit spent and
Yes, we got that information.
we got that
today,
information so we can look at whatever budget that, I don't remember what budget that was now, but
so-
yeah.
All right, so the library, do you want to report on that, Bob?
Well, just as an FYI, we still have snow and ice to do, street lighting to do.
That's what we have, street lighting. Snow and ice?
We can do snow and ice. Just as a library and the reserve fund. Those are the last ones.
Street lighting and library.
We got answers on street lighting.
Yeah, okay, so let's start with library, because I've got that up. You got an answer on the library?
Yep, I did. So the question was that they have to spend 19.2% of their budget on their supplies, and they listed those under materials. And that is over the 19.2%, so we are fine with that.
Okay, great.
So by
Well, wait a sec, wasn't the question what part of the budget the 19.5% applied to?
It's the materials, it's the library materials at $83,000. That has to be 19% of the total budget.
Right,
Okay.
and yes, the question was, John, because a part of this budget is in buildings and grounds because of electricity, but Payshawn saying she figured that into that 83,000. That 19% is part of the 83,000, which is well over the 19%. Does that make sense? So it includes the budget and grounds portion of it.
Right, the 83,000 by itself
Is
is over the 19.
well over the 19%.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So the fact that you want to add more money to it, sure, just put you even more.
Right.
You can't have buildings and grounds to books.
Say it again?
You can't have buildings, it doesn't make sense. You're saying.
So what, the way the state requires that the total budget for the library, of the total budget, they spend 18% on materials. So the total budget includes electricity and utilities.
Right.
Last year, we pulled out all the utilities from all the different departments and put it into DPW buildings and grounds. When we did that, it lowered the library budget, but just on paper, because the reality is you still need to have 18% of both. So last year we
couldn't show a decrease.
Right, couldn't show
on
it.
these kind of books.
Right, but then we got approval, Mike got a letter, Mike and Payshawn worked with the state. So now, as long as the library material is over the 19% of the total budget, including utilities, which is not part of the library budget, then we're fine. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So, and the 83,000 is well over that, but we just want to make sure it was in there.
So, Gary, I moved budget 610, total salary, $303,518.
$303,000,
518.
okay.
And total other, $112,490. For a total of $416,008.
I'll second that number, 416,008.
Okay, is there any other questions or comments on this? Okay, Kashava,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
George,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Becky,
Aye.
and Maria, aye. Okay, so now I need to figure out streetlights. What number is that? Streetlight 424. 424.
That's pretty slippery, I like that.
You like that? Huh?
Very.
Gary taught me that.
I don't know, you sit around these guys long enough, you like learn all these little Excel spreadsheet like. Okay, so the question on this is what lights were they? It was in the email. You've got the email in front of you. Can you tell us?
Yeah, but I drove by it tonight, so there's one right in the corner, in the middle of the S curve on Mass Ave.
Okay.
And there's one right here at the intersection of Middle Road and Mass Ave. The other one is at the police station. It's actually on the street, and the other one is here in the parking lot.
Okay. All right, so that was the question last week. Are we ready to vote this?
Okay, so budget 424, Gary.
Yep.
Street lighting, total other $3,900. Total street lighting, $3,900. I move.
I'll second that.
Okay, there's no further discussion. Kashava,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
George,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Becky, and Maria, aye.
Are you
Okay.
talking to me?
I'm
Becky
sorry.
and Maria,
No,
aye.
Becky, I said your name, you said aye, and I said Maria, aye. Wow, good lord. People, let's keep it civil. Okay, snow and ice. Was this the one where we had the,
You guys mute yourselves out.
We muted ourselves out?
What?
No, there's the vacuum cleaner.
Can you not hear us? I don't really understand how they're cleaning anyway.
Can you hear us?
Better.
Yeah. Sorry, they're vacuuming up here. Go figure.
Can we close that door?
Yeah.
You can close that door, right?
As long as someone can open it.
Okay, all right. Snow and ice. The reason we didn't do this one was because of the deficit spending concerns?
Oh, that got into too.
That got answered.
Oh, did?
But which budget was that? I didn't think that was snow and ice.
It's the only budgets that we didn't.
Mike
That was-
said,
That was, I think that was, planning board that had the deficit spending and that got answered.
right,
Right,
okay.
but we voted that already.
Okay.
So is there a reason we didn't vote snow and ice? Oh, we were thinking about the overtime and the way it was, why didn't we vote snow and ice last time, Gary? Do we know?
Give me a second, I'll pull the minutes up.
Do you mind?
Not at all.
What numbers?
It's 423. And then the reserve fund, while you're pulling that up, we're not gonna vote until
Could,
the very end.
we could decrease contract plows?
Oh, because the contract plows, they did that during COVID, because they
Oh,
thought they
okay.
couldn't, if the guys all came down with COVID, they were gonna have to hire contract plows. I called the state after that to see if we could get
Right.
rid of it, because we had only done it for COVID, they said, sorry, should have gone for reserve fund transfer.
So that was our question, should we be putting that in for the salaries for the OT?
Doesn't, it's bottom line. Well, it's not a bottom line, but for the state, it's a bottom line. It doesn't matter if it's in expenses or salaries, so I don't know if Mike thinks they need to, move it up to salaries, should move it up to salaries, I suppose.
I would think leave it where it is. And if, 18,000, if we need that for salaries, we're not going to need to the end of the year and we could do an end of the year transfer for that.
Right, because we can deficit spend this account, right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Is that a reserve transfer? Is it even-
No, it would be a budget transfer.
Just
We
a
would
budget,
do it
okay.
in May. In May.
Because I agree, just leave it and move.
What is that?
Sorry, I see that.
Can we gotta mute this.
Working on it. Yeah, just don't go into.
You guys can hear that, right?
No, we're good, we're working on it.
I don't want that.
You have to connect your audio, because that's what happens in the other room for me. We're working on it, people. That disclaimer we had this week on our agenda was really.
Option F1.
Okay, you know what?
No, you go to.
Lower left corner, left F1.
How about if I
Hold on.
Sorry.
He's got it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh my God, okay.
Okay, you know what, I'm gonna take you out of the meeting, and then we can figure this out, how's that sound? I'm kicking him out. Oh, it says you won't be able to, oh, sorry, George, I just kicked you out, you can't rejoin now.
Oh, Jesus,
Okay,
okay.
we also watched the meeting, sorry.
Okay, all right, okay,
Just thinking myself. I do it on my own accord.
okay. Can I just,
That's the volume off on my machine, so.
that's fabulous.
Okay, John, it's okay.
Do we have, I know, John, this is just, well, you needed to zoom in tonight. This was gonna be a non-Zoom meeting.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Okay, okay, so we're all set with this. Can I have a motion?
Yes, okay, budget 423, snow and ice, I move total salary, $92,293. Total $114,297, for a total snow and ice budget of $206,590.
I will second that.
Okay, so there's no further discussion on this. Kashava?
Shopper probably left.
Kashava?
He's there. Oh, you probably can't hear us.
Mike, John, can you hear us?
Yep.
Okay, Kashava, can you hear us?
I think
Oh, we can't hear you.
He motioned yes, he motioned yes.
Okay. Kashava, can you hear us? Okay, I need a vote on this.
Thumbs up.
Yes?
Put a thumb up.
Put a thumbs up if you're
Go,
yes.
put a thumb up.
Huh? Okay.
Kashava,
John?
Kashava, we can't hear you. Thumb up or thumb down?
Oh, there you go.
Thank
Okay. So what, you said aye. Okay. John?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
George?
I'm unable to return the meeting. Aye, anyway. You can fix that.
Bob, good Lord.
Turn the volume.
Bob? Tony?
Aye.
I cannot wait for you to be chair and we deal with all of this. Becky and Maria, aye.
So actually, I just have a quick question on this. So like, there's no snow this year. So we've spent 5K thus far and we budgeted 200. And
Right, so that's gonna all flow back in free cash.
all free cash. Okay.
Well, we could use it to offset some budget transfers if we have to at the end of the year for other departments, but whatever's left goes back in free cash.
Okay. In light of the current situation, let's
Let's hope that
Let's
we do.
pray for no snow.
Yes, yes. Okay, so the only one left, Gary, according to what you said earlier, was the reserve fund.
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna go take your minutes. We're gonna stop voting this because we can't vote that until after the school votes their final budget, because that number's changed a little bit. So I'll go back, take your notes, I'll double check that you and I are on the same page. I'll check off all the budgets, and then we'll wait. The school is voting their final budget on March 21st. At their last meeting, the amount was down slightly, by $30,000 or so.
So I was late to the meeting. Did they vote a decrease? Is that what happened?
No, they presented, there was some changes in revenues, small changes, so that ended up, they projected a chart and they said there's a change to the Boxborough assessment. And when I looked at it, I was like, okay, that's a decrease of about $30,000. But they didn't vote it. He was just explaining in the context of budget A and budget B, because they were going over the
Right.
bad budget.
Sherry had just sent me
Yeah.
what I thought was the official numbers until they re-voted, and I didn't hear it. I came in late,
No, so the official number they're going with is the number they originally voted, the 14.
which is what Sherry had sent me.
And right, well, we
Okay.
have. And then, so
I felt bad saying that Peter was incorrect on the slide.
Right,
but
right,
it
right. So
didn't
he
match up
was,
with what I knew.
right, because there was some slight changes. So there's gonna be they can't go above that number. So we're gonna keep that number in the model. They're gonna vote, March 21st. They have a public budget hearing this Thursday. And then on the 21st is when they're gonna vote their final budget. We'll get that vote, and then we'll vote the reserve after that, because that's when we're gonna do the final, total wrap up for Article 5 for the budget, okay? Does that make sense?
And then you said, that's this week's March 7th meeting.
Yes. Okay,
I'll be there.
all right. All right, so we're gonna move on to articles. And, say again,
What are you gonna use?
what am I gonna use?
Minimum.
No, I'm going up there, I'm sharing. I am gonna take one out of order, because I assume that you're here for the Human Services Director one. So I'll take that out of order, so you don't need to, unfortunately, I have to find where it is. Because
Just type
no,
Control F and
you love your Control F things. Okay, Control F and what, wish?
and type in human.
Well, who?
She didn't do that, oh, she didn't do it too.
Okay,
Is this a Word document?
Fine.
PDF?
oh, it is a Word document.
It still works.
It's
still works.
Yeah.
Still works. Control F.
Control F.
Which is fine.
F is right here.
Oh, Control, I'm doing the F keys up there.
Oh, boy.
There you go.
Okay, John, bury your head again.
Listen,
We're good.
okay, there it is, look at that, that is so, oh, I lost it. How did I lose it? Okay,
Roll out.
Give it over.
You gotta-
All right.
No, you gotta click on one.
oh, I actually have to click on it.
Yep.
Well, I don't know how to do
Everything
that.
that's highlighted yellow now on the page is on that left chart.
All right, we're just gonna leave it like
Upper
this.
left corner, click
She's
the
got it,
X.
she's got it.
Just close
Click
it.
the X.
I did that and then it went away.
Oh.
I don't wanna do that
Okay.
because I don't want it to go away.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna work off of this, just like this, and we're gonna keep that open. Technology is really overrated, I just need to say. Okay.
We're just in the breakdown
I So Mike, do you want to talk to this?
Sure.
Okay.
So the intention here is to, and stop me if I'm giving you too much detail. The intention is for an internal promotion of either the community services coordinator or the council on aging coordinator for additional duties to include management of 4 human services components. And that would be veteran services, council on aging, community services, and recreation. And this $10,000 increase would be a combination of going up 1 grade on the pay scale and additional hours for that position. Now, it's going to be different depending who the person is because Wendy and Kim currently work a different amount of hours. So Wendy works 25 hours a week. Kim is 32 hours a week. So I have to, but my word here is that we're going to keep this change within a $10,000 annual increase. The intention is multi.
Wait, $10,000 increase, not annual increase. A $10,000 increase.
$10,000 increase in this 1 year.
Okay, right.
Correct.
When you say annual, it made it sound like every year, because I was going to apply for the job, but go ahead. $10,000 raise.
I mean, it would be
Year.
it would be a permanent increase, but yeah. It would
No,
be
I understand that, but it's
Yeah.
not, okay, go ahead.
So the intention is multifold. I believe this is the right organizational structure to bring our human services components under for more collaboration, for more working together, to have someone who's doing some strategic work as far as visioning for all of our human services for the town, looking forward, what is needed, and also handle a lot of those managerial tasks, such as managing people, budgets, conflict resolution, those sort of things. I think there'd be a lot of gain I think the benefit would outweigh the cost in this increase. And I don't put this into the warrant or the budget lightly. I've seen this work and pay high dividends to the community, to the people who are receiving services from these 4 different components. The other reason is often we think of some of our human services components as more recreational. What I mean by that is recreation, we just think of young people out playing, when really we ought to also be thinking of it as youth services. What I mean by that is if a child shows up to our summer program or any other recreation program, and that child is hungry or lacking something, I want our human services staff to be in tune with what does that mean, and what, could this be something that's happening at home? Could it be something that we could be addressing and helping this individual and this family with? Similar with council on aging, we think of fun programs or social programs, but it shouldn't just be it shouldn't just be fun programs. I mean, certainly that's a big part of it, but it should also be senior services or elder services. And we call it senior services. Same thing. One of our seniors is showing up and, they're showing up with bruises, or they're showing up and they seem like they're, not getting the sort of assistance they need. Maybe it's someone who's living at home, and then we would want to be directing some sort of service to that person. And similar with veteran services. Too often we think of, Veterans Day and Memorial Day and ceremonies and celebrations, when we also need to think about what are better services, human services, that we can provide to these individuals and families. So that's why I think it's important to think about human services under an umbrella. And at the top of that umbrella would be a manager who the other component coordinators are reporting to. The other piece that's important here, and I think you all recognize, is that we're not adding an additional person or an additional set of benefits to our budget. What we're doing is we're using someone who was already employed by us, already receiving benefits, and we're adding some hours and some level of responsibility and expectations of them. So with that, what questions can I answer for you?
So Mike, I think there's one question or a clarity I'm looking for. This is an increase in the annual compensation we're going to pay a person by $10,000, and then every year it will go up by the COLA or what else. But this is a change in the base salary amount, is that correct?
That is correct.
So I just wanted to make sure I understood that it's not a stipend, it'll be part of the salary of this person on a going forward basis.
That's correct. And that's going to move along two axes. So right now, Wendy, what grade are you at? Are you at a grade?
The one grade 14, is it?
Okay. So this would be, so Wendy and Kim are both at the same grade. This would be, the salary increase would basically be going up one grade and an addition of hours, something like approximately 5 to 8 hours onto this. So they have more time, but also more increase. With those two, the multiple of those two not to exceed $10,000 in the coming year. So you're correct, not a stipend, but an increase in hours and an increase in grade. And the step where that grade comes out to is going to depend on how many hours get added.
Okay, got it.
So besides the $10,000 increase, is there any impact to benefits?
There is not. They're already both positions. In fact, both employees already have full benefits as far as. I mean, no, they already are fully eligible for the healthcare, the dental, and everything else we provide. So no.
We offer dental?
No.
Oh.
It's not very good, but we offer.
So the dental we have is actually, it's not something the town pays for, but it's something we administer, but the employees pay 100% of that. It's the healthcare that the town pays a portion of.
Okay, any comments?
Well, I'm gonna say, you know, it might be a great idea, but we wanted a level service budget this year, and I railed so hard against the schools putting people in, you know, having all these new people in. I don't see how then in good conscience I can support this year. Next year, when we know where we sit with the money situation, I'm really worried about money for next year. So I'm not gonna support this in large part because I actually also would like to have a discussion on town floor about it, and it keeps it off the consent agenda. But I just really feel like it's not the year to do it when we kept saying we want a level service.
Becky, I hear you, but I guess you're saying you can't do it in your words. You don't want to do it this year, but you're also saying you don't want to do it next year.
I don't know. I want to look at where the money is next year. I want to see where we're at next year for money. I mean, you know.
So that would be 2 years.
Maybe, not sure.
I don't know about next year. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll come back fine. Maybe we'll turn enough back to free cash that we'll feel better next year going, you know, into budget season. Right now, I'm concerned. I mean, I rail pretty hard against the schools. And, you know, I just feel like I can't the schools can't have it, but town can when we said we wanted a level service. So that's my 2 cents, but I'm one person.
Anyone else?
Well, there are a number of things where we're going above level services for the town budget actually, so this is one of them. So I'm actually in support of this, but I think we do have to recognise that the town budget is not level services, it's level services plus a few enhancements, this being one of them.
Could you just mention a couple of examples? It's not level service?
Sure, I've got a file of that actually somewhere here, yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't know if you had to look it up.
Well, no, I think if you want to see it, I'll have to find it, but.
He's been tracking it so that we can bring it up
Yeah.
the budget.
Because I'm not talking about the money, I'm just asking, you know, where we made a step increase or something.
Yeah, sorry.
So while you're looking that up, I can speak to this. We did say level service, and I know that there's other personnel changes in this budget that I am in favor of. But I agree, I mean, I voted against the school assessment because I thought there was too much administration and I thought they could cut cost. And I haven't, I feel like based on that, it's really hard for me. I need to pick and choose where I think the town needs to go above and beyond level service. I'm not sure this is it. I understand, I don't think you need to have a director to be able to have your COA person and your community service person talk to each other. If we've got a senior that's hungry, you should not need a supervisor to run through that COA director should be able to go to the community service person and say, I have a senior who's not getting enough food because he can't afford it. What services are out there? And you shouldn't need to have, this kind of, this to get that done. And I don't think this is the year to do it. I just feel like for as much as I complained about all of the top heavy that the region was in their budget, I feel like I need to personally feel very comfortable and pick and choose and really have good reasons for myself to vote an increase in humans, people in Boxborough on the town side. And I feel really strongly that we need an associate planner. I feel strongly we need a RecCom person. I'm just not sure, I'm not convinced that we need this, although that was a good argument that Mike made.
Can I ask a question? Mike, so the three positions that would be under this, excuse me if you've answered this already, but how many hours are those positions? What's the paid, I mean, not the salary, but how many hours are
Sure.
positions?
Sure. So the veteran services, James McRae is our veteran service officer for both the town of Acton and Boxborough. He works more hours in Acton, but he's on call, 40 hours a week for both towns. So he's a full-time employee, but he's shared with Acton. For recreation is a 19 and a half hour position. For community services, that's a 25-hour position. For council on aging, that's a 32-hour position. And there is one full-time administrative assistant that supports all of those components. And that's another article that you're going to be getting to. We're going to vote to apply benefits to a position that's already, it's a three-part position that I've combined, but we need to take it out off of a temp agency position and make it a town position. We'd have to add benefits. But that's basically
rough math here. So it sounds like 2 FTEs plus an admin would be report roughly under the line of this person, of this position, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So I've got the information, George.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things which are increasing the budget this year. One is the...
Not the budget so much as a level service.
Well, yeah, but going above level services. So things which are increasing, which are new things that were not in last year's budget, which we in fact this year's budget. So one is the K9, which was previously voted at the special town meeting, but has had the cost in our budget. And there was actually a hidden cost on that because it turned out when we talked about not getting a police cruiser this year, the police chief said we need a police cruiser because we needed one for the K9. So that was actually a big cost increase that got sucked in. It's like a hidden cost actually that went into the cost of the dog. We increased the sergeant ratio, which is a $5,000 cost. So more sergeants and less officers. We are subscribing to the domestic violence program, which is $3,000 for police. For fire, we have an ongoing coverage increase, previously voted, and it's all part of the plan, but these are increases to level service that are going on. There's a RecCom coordinator, which is a warrant article. We on council aging, we've got a Boxborough Go program, which is us
Right, that we've taken from ARPA. It was funded through ARPA for 2 years, and now we're gonna put it in the general
So
budget.
it's in the general budget.
But that's a
That doesn't
service
change.
to our seniors.
That keeps the service level.
It does, but
You know, cost-
it's costing us
No,
more.
I understand that.
Costing,
I'm looking for what's,
it's costing the budget.
yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah. I've got a note here about admin assistant for council on aging, right?
That's the one,
That's
that's
the shared
Yeah.
one.
no, that's the share, admin
Yeah,
that
but-
we're making full-time. There's 15,000 in the budget that we have to, for benefits.
Right, so it's an ad, isn't it?
Yes, that is an add to the
Yeah,
budget.
yeah.
Not an add to services, but an add to
Yeah,
budget.
yeah. For the executive office, we've got some, quite a substantial training cost, which is
Yeah.
new this year.
Yeah,
And I've got something about the MARC program, but
we're
I'm sure.
increasing the bus,
Yeah.
It's all
That's all
gonna
grants.
be, it's a grant, it's just, we had to
That's
pay the
that's
first
revolving
month.
maybe, yeah.
yeah.
Three-
So we had to pay the first year of the driver, but it's, because it's
First
a,
month, I don't think it was the first year, was it?
maybe, I don't know, but it's
Just the
a,
first month.
first month. It's a reimbursement grant, so we'll get that money back.
So again, I'm not saying I'm against any of those things, all I'm saying is that there are things which are increasing.
I believe that the police officer was voted at town meeting, right?
It was.
It's a motion, but
There was nothing else we could say about it.
but it impacts the
No,
budget this
there's
year.
nothing else that we as a committee could say about that anymore because it was fed up completely.
No, but as I said,
No.
there's actually a large hidden cost to
I understand all that, but there's not much we could say about it anymore, since it was voted, 27
it.
years
It was a learning moment for me.
So, okay, all right, so all well and good, that's all well and good, so these are, but there are enhanced services in here that make this not necessarily a level budget. So does anyone have comments specifically on the article that we're looking at? So the three of us have commented,
So
thoughts before we take a vote on this?
So what we're doing is we're increasing one of the existing people
Yep,
with an increase of a salary increase.
Of a grade, we're
Yeah.
putting them up a grade, basically.
Grade
There's an extra hour.
to manage other people.
yes,
To manage and keep their same, like, if it's me or Kim, we keep our same duties, and then we do this additional thing.
For 5 to 8 hours a week. Is that what I heard?
whatever hours it takes to get it done.
So there's no more heads, it's just increased hours.
So who are all these people working for now, Rajan or?
They directly,
So-
Mike, right?
Yeah, can I answer that? Because this is actually a piece of it that I should have mentioned is that I was on the job about 2 weeks when I had the administrative assistant for the recreation department show up at my door. And I hadn't spoken to her yet. And she said, "Can we talk?" I said, "Sure." So we talked and she said, "I'd like to know what's expected of me." I said, "What's your position?" And so she told me, I said, "Okay, let's pull up your job description." And, that was shocker number one, that all of our administrative assistant job positions are exactly the same generic, and it doesn't say at all what they do, which department or what their duties are. And that's a mistake that we're going to correct. And I understand why it was done to get the pay scales all the same, which I agree with that. But job descriptions are supposed to describe the job that somebody does. Part two was, who's your supervisor? And she says, "I don't know." Well, it turns out I'm her supervisor. So I have a recreation administrative assistant who's a direct report of mine as the town administrator. I've got a community services coordinator who's a direct report. I've got a veterans agent who's a direct report. I've got a council on aging coordinator who's a direct report. If we hire a recreation coordinator, that will be a direct report. And then I've got all the other department heads. I have way too many direct reports. I'm supposed to, it's beyond the span of control that any well-managed organization would adhere to. So that's another thing is we need a level of management there. And, we'll keep plugging along with what we've got. But I don't think that I can properly manage some of these positions.
Any other questions? Okay, can I have a motion on this article?
I'll move, Staffing structural change, human services director, something of article number, we recommend.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, Kashava? John?
No.
Hold on,
What?
let's go slow. John is no.
Yep, Kashava's yes.
Yes, okay.
Um,
Gary's a yes.
okay. Gary's yes.
Oh, yes.
George is a yes.
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 Tony's a yes.
No.
And I'm a no. So we have 3 no's. 5 to 3.
Just want to make sure I got that count.
So 5 to 3. Who, am I doing the,
Well, you town hall, so
By
you're doing
way of explanation, I was swayed by, the number of direct reports, span of control.
all right, so I get your
I was,
recommendation.
because I do.
You right now,
Well, she's gonna write the nay.
I'm gonna do the nay on this one.
Who's gonna write the pro?
Oh, yeah, so usually it would be me. I mean, I can write both if you want me to. Can somebody else write the pro on this?
I'm happy to do it.
Okay, so that Tony's a yes, and I'm gonna be the no. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you for coming.
You're welcome to stay.
It was interesting.
You're welcome to stay. We have a lot more to do.
He didn't say fun. She said.
Come on, stay.
God say fun.
Drive safe.
There- There's gonna be, I'm sure, much more technology that I'm gonna screw up, so there's always that.
Let's use her Excel.
Bye, everyone. Say again?
Nothing.
Okay, so here we go. Chapter 90 reimbursement program.
Okay.
Is there a reason there's not an amount on this, or do we never put an amount on
Because of
this?
that, isn't this,
we don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
this is that T thing?
No, this is the
money the
reimbursement
state
from the
gives us.
state.
Oh.
Okay, I move we recommend the chapter 90 reimbursement program.
I'll second it.
Okay, does everybody know what this is? Do we need an explanation? We have some new people on the committee.
I don't know if it is. Please.
Okay, so every year under chapter 90, the state gives us money to reimburse us for road maintenance. And we have to vote to accept the money.
So it's
pretty much that
it's like when you buy gasoline, you pay a tax. Some of that is paying for this.
Right.
And that's usually about 300,000-ish,
It's been 250 to 300 range, and it depends on how many miles in town there is.
so.
If all we're saying is, yes, we will accept the money.
Yes, that's all it is. This is not a heavy lift, this one.
I'm just gonna cut and paste from last year.
Who's doing, okay, let me take the vote first. Kashava?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Okay, Gary?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Tony?
Aye.
Maria? And Becky? Again, I'm speaking for you. All right, and then who does this recommendation?
That'd be Bob, because he's the highway dude. But he can just cut and paste from last year's.
Okay.
Now, what can we move to council meeting? More.
Okay, transfer to, OPEB. So this is the OPEB, which this year we've decreased from 300,000 down to 200,000. And then, Mike, I had a conversation today with somebody, a historian in town, who tells me we need to look and see if we can use stabilization for this. Did you have that conversation?
Yes, and I haven't had a chance to chase that down yet.
I'm gonna talk to my other resident historian.
But I think we've done that in the past, like
OPEB?
4 or 5 years ago.
OPEB?
Yeah, we did it for OPEB. It wasn't recommended.
I don't remember doing anything out of stabilization.
So the question is, was stabilization, when it was set up, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this has been here since before I came into town, I think. Was it set up as a capital stabilization?
No.
Or was it just set up as
It's a rainy
stabilization?
day fund kind of thing.
Okay, so then, based on that, we should vote on this. Mike, if you hear something different, we can re-vote this if we have to change the funding sources.
Yeah, and the only reason that it would have been different if it was specifically voted as a capital stabilization fund. If it's just a general stabilization fund, then you're fine.
I feel like we've used it for things that aren't necessarily capital.
I agree, but.
The last time I remember using it besides this was for painting the library. And I don't think it passed, actually. But it was a funding source.
Okay.
This requires 2/3 of a vote.
Hey, I remember when we tried to make it so that the skate park in Acton had to use
Yes,
stabilization.
yes, you did.
That wouldn't have been capital, that would have been like an assessment.
Okay, so we're gonna vote this. If Mike, you maybe just double check that, and if that changes, let us know if we have to change this.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Why does it say more or less?
Why does it say more or less? Where does it say that?
Most of the articles say more or less, and I think that's.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, never mind. I'm sorry. The fund is 150. I thought the movement amount was 150. Never mind. My bad.
Okay.
Oh, no, actually, no, I take it back. It does say more or less.
They all say more or less. That's kind of the legalese language that we do with these motions, right, Mike?
It is, and that way, so it doesn't change if somebody, if we find out something that, of a very little difference. So you'll see that in the fire, warrant articles and many of the
Okay.
other, it's a legalese.
Okay, I move we recommend,
We can have discussion after the motion.
yeah,
Let's just do that.
transfer to OPEB.
I'll second that.
Okay, what was your question?
Is this new language as far as where it says in the very top, 50,000 cash and 150 stabilization, or did we always have that?
No, this is the funding source because of the situation that we got into with the school. We changed this from being all free cash. We needed to move money around so that we could get our levy under where
So
we
we
needed to
did
be.
that originally.
Originally, it was all free cash,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
We have a capital
We had
Saturday.
300,000.
Okay.
Originally, it was 300,000, it was all free
All
cash.
free cash. Okay, that's my question.
So we decreased
Does
it.
this need to be 2 votes? Because stabilization is 2/3 of a
The
vote?
whole vote will be 2/3 because the free cash. So
Doesn't matter, okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, no, that was my only question. So it was originally all free.
It was all free cash, 300,000, but then when we went into override territory, we made changes. Okay, any other questions on this? Okay, Kashaba?
Art.
John?
Aye.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Gary?
Aye.
I was asked, I don't know what we're talking about, sorry.
Okay.
I'm still looking for your.
Abstain.
Okay, he's abstaining.
Bob's and I.
Okay, Tony?
Aye.
And Maria, aye. Okay, so
701.
7-0.
That's it.
For some reason, this damn document doesn't scroll.
Okay.
vertically.
Next one, assessor, cyclical and reevaluation. Do we need Mike to talk to this one for everybody? Do we have questions?
Sorry, which one is this?
This is the assessor's cyclical reevaluation, 30,000.
This is a 30,000, right?
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
What?
I need the tax levy on this one. I didn't need it on the last one. I do need it. We need to go back to the human resource one I need it on too. So I'll go back to that one. I forgot about that. Okay, do we want an explanation on this? Does anybody want an explanation
Yes.
on? Okay, Mike, do you want to do this or you want me to give it a try?
Either way is fine with me.
All right, why don't you go for it?
Okay, so we do revaluations on property value on a constant basis. Some number of years ago, the town had a spike where $120,000 was put on the warrant for this, and I believe it was at that time, I don't know how many years ago, that the town decided, let's break it up and do 30,000 per year instead of getting hit every 3 or 4 years with 90 or $120,000. And this is how we do our best job to try to keep up with the values of the properties, to try to minimize the spikes to people as well as the spikes to the budget with this.
So I'm sorry, but is this a payment to an assessor to evaluate, or is this an increase in the assessed value of the town?
So, well, it's to the target is to get the actual the true value of properties in the town, but we're paying this to a consultant to come in and do these cyclical and revaluations.
Okay, so this is a payment to a person. Excuse me one second. This is a payment to a person to do assessments, correct?
Correct. It's a payment to a company that does this for a living.
Okay, thank you.
And it's required by the state every 3 years.
But don't we do this already, and doesn't the assessor do this?
No, it's done through this process. This is like the 3rd year of this article. So we do this already. But we do this article, so normally, when you have a reoccurring expense like that, it would be part of the assessor's budget.
Yeah.
But because what happens at the end of the year is anything left in those budgets goes into free cash. If you only use 15,000 of the 30,000, the 15,000 goes into free cash. By doing it this way, because we know on a yearly basis it's around, timing wise, the money stays in the article, so you can use all of the 30,000 and go on to the second 30,000, and it doesn't flow back into free cash. Otherwise, what happens is we're effectively double taxing the taxpayers. So that's why we do it as an article.
Okay.
Even though it's a recurring expense, it should be technically part of the operating budget.
Because we've been doing this for 40 years,
Yes,
right?
yes, but this is why we do it as part of this article. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
To be also, to George's point, we got in trouble the last few years, we didn't do it.
Right, we got way
Forecasting on
behind.
that.
So
We need to
that's,
have a company do it first.
Right.
Sort of.
We didn't have an assessor problem, so.
Okay, I move we recommend the assessor's cyclical reevaluation.
I'll second that.
okay, is there any further discussion on this or questions? Okay, Kashab? John?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Tony?
Aye.
Jackie? And Maria? Aye. Okay, so we're unanimous on
What's your
that.
tax impact, do you know?
I'm gonna,
Tax impact is 2 cents per $1,000 valuation.
cents for
$15.
$15.
The average house.
Thank you. And then I'll clean that
I'm
up.
sorry. Who's gonna approve, write the recommendation for OPEB? You want me to do that one?
Yeah, do you mind?
Go ahead, who's gonna do this one?
Maria's town hall.
I guess I'm doing this, but I mean, this is, a lot of my recommendations are gonna be,
You're gonna look at last year's at this point.
or it's gonna be for the reasons listed above.
Okay.
RecCom recommends, because we don't need to have long explanations on things that are recurring, right?
Well, if it's the first time we're doing it.
If it's first time, but this has been,
I don't know if we did it last year, did we?
yeah, we've been doing this for 3 years.
The average house value.
Okay, next article. Okay, next article, MS4.
Yeah, does that sound?
Okay, hold on, we got.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
A zillion conversations.
Okay, we're real, okay. Next one is MS4.
Did you want to go back and do that?
I'm gonna get to it when I get to, I just only needs the tax impact on it. And actually, you should probably just give it to me for $10,000 from human resources, I'll just write it down and add it. Okay, go ahead.
It is
Okay.
1 cent per $1,000.
Okay,
$5 average house.
thank you.
Do you want me to make a motion for this?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll move we recommend the MS4 permitting, Office of Land Use and Permitting.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
And this is just like an unfunded mandate for those of you who are new to the committee.
Right, this is the 7th year. See, it's.
Hey, Newbie has a question. Do we have to
Go
do
ahead.
this every year?
Yes. Well, this
We
is the
do?
7th year.
This is the installment. Okay.
Mike, this portion of it is for, I mean, this is an every year thing going forward, right?
Yes, it is. So whoever said that, I think Becky might have said it. This is an unfunded. So this is a federal mandate that we have to do. We don't get any money to do it, but we have to go out and manage our stormwater system and make sure that we are properly draining the water in town off of roads and properties.
But it's specifically federally mandated to do annually.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, we do it in this fashion instead of putting it in the DPW fund or budget for the same reason. If we don't use all these funds this year, we will use all the funds, but on a timing basis, rather than going into free cash, we can just keep it in this fund and use it all and then go on to the next year's, use it for 30,000.
So just as an FYI, Acton actually charges $149 per lot for this purpose.
Oh, like an additional tax?
Sorry. So newbie question here, back to Maria's point. So Maria, let's say the bill for this comes to 20 grand this year. So what happens to that 10 grand?
So then, if it comes to, so in FY '25, if it's only $20,000, the 10,000 remains in this article, and then they can use that $10,000 in the next year.
So we would only have to appropriate 20 grand essentially, correct?
Yes, although generally it takes about 30,000 a year according to DPW. So there's not money hanging out from past years for this.
It might be hundreds of small.
It might be under $1,000, but this is about the amount that Ed has told us it costs to comply
It's a
with
going
this.
rate. Okay.
But what it doesn't do is, if we don't use it, it doesn't roll back into free cash. So
Got it.
if we did have a year where we only had to spend 10,000, then the next year we could make this for 20,000 because we'd have that money, but it won't roll back into free cash. And that's the important thing on these ongoing maintenance issues.
Is there language in here that says something to that effect? 'Cause
It's just the way it is. It's because it's an article. Because it's an actual article, independent article, it stays out there forever unless you go in and clean it up and put it in the free cash. But state law is your operating budget at the end of the year, whatever you don't spend automatically rolls into free cash.
So that's true for all articles?
Yes, all articles.
All articles.
stay.
Yep.
The leftover money stays until
Forever.
we do something.
Well, and then sometimes we take bring them back, like we pull the money back.
Like George said, it takes a vote of town meeting to close out the warrant article. Gotcha.
Okay?
I didn't know that. I thought actually the articles automatically
Nope.
reverted to free.
So
That's only-
So that's why you'll see most of these reoccurring ones, anything that's reoccurring unless it's capital, we always just put it in the budget. But because we don't want the funds to roll into free cash, we want it because we know this is what the cost is and there might be a timing issue. That's why we do them as articles. So, all right. Do I have a motion? Did you guys make a motion? Okay. Kashava?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Bob? Tony? Becky?
Aye.
Emery. You can say no if you'd like. Then it takes it off the consent agenda. Then we get to debate what we just talked about on town floor for the third year in a row, or the seventh year in a row.
That could be exciting.
It's the Office of Land Use.
Okay.
I can write
And
that.
the tax impact?
2 cents per 1,000,
Yeah.
$15 per average house.
So how come if something's 1 cent per 1,000, it's only?
Is rounding, right?
Okay.
No,
I mean,
no, 30,000 all the same, right?
Yes,
then there
but
was
the human
10,000, the Human
resources.
resources person's like 1 cent, so I just
well,
wanted.
okay, so I'll give you the exact number then. It's 0.00573 actually for the $10,000.
Okay.
It's what?
0.00573 cents.
Human resources.
Just gonna leave it at .01.
Yeah, exactly.
And when someone says, I don't understand on town floor, we say,
Not-
Tony knows.
Tony's going not.
Round it to the nearest cent.
Okay, we have cable and service equipment.
Great teacher, we thought it was 0 to 9.
Okay, I move to recommend cable services and equipment.
I'll second that.
Okay, now, is there, so just a quick explanation on this. These are cable funds that we get in from the cable companies that we use to fund basically Kirby and BXB-TV and a few other things. And the breakdown is in the summary. Is there any questions on that?
So, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so in the warrant list, there's no funding source listed at all.
Because it's cable funds, so it's like sort of,
So we
it's sort of that
We're
revolving.
given money from Comcast and Verizon as part of our contract.
It's almost a revolving account, but
Yeah,
it's not technically revolving.
okay. I just wonder, so we're not going to account this anywhere in terms of our presentation?
No.
In terms of money in, money out?
No, we do account for it. It's in, when we do one of the slides, it's in the
We
other,
did last year,
yeah. So I would almost put it in the revolving account.
Yeah,
Because
I need to do that.
it doesn't hit the bottom line at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it hit the bottom line?
No, it doesn't, because it gets taken out of the cable funds.
So, but what if we spend $100, we only get $90?
Well, this is, I think it's money that we have in the cable fund. And at some point, just to be clear, with everyone going to streaming services.
I know this is gonna go away, I mean, I know
At
this is
some point, it's
gonna
gonna
Well, the current, we're working on the Comcast contract right now.
be. Yes.
And right now, the contract says we'll get $5,700 a year, which we're bumping that up to 7,000. It should have been $7,000 a year for that. And then Verizon is, I think, about the same.
Okay.
So we're getting about 14,000 or so per year for 10 years.
Yeah. Also, right, but that, okay, we know how much we're gonna get, but we don't know how much Kirby's expenses are.
Well, that's why he keeps
Well-
commenting that his costs are going up.
Right.
And we're locked.
So Mike,
But we do his contract a year in advance, so we've already got the FY '25 contract locked in.
so we've got the revenue locked in and we've got the expenses locked in?
Yeah,
So we know we're covered this year.
yes,
So,
for FY '25.
right, for the FY '20, but more than likely, there's gonna be a time when we're not gonna have enough revenue
Yes,
to cover Kirby's expenses.
absolutely, and I would say that Wes has been beating that drum for as long as he's been on the select board.
Okay,
Because does he sit on that committee too?
Yep.
He has been, every time this comes up, he says the same thing. At some point, this is gonna go into the general budget, the
right,
general operating budget. We need to prepare for that,
Yeah.
but we're not there yet.
got it,
So,
okay.
we're covered.
Yep.
Okay.
And it will still be not 100% of the coverage, but it's going to certainly impact probably the next couple of years.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, there's certain things that, hardware is what it is. But the reason Kirby's expenses are going up is because more and more of our stuff is being live, FinCom, Select Board, and the Planning Board are now live. So that is increased transparency. This is gonna go onto the website. I think he takes it and does some quick editing on it.
He's also doing the school committee.
Right. he
I'm
does-
sure it's some
yeah.
small amount of
Yeah.
time that's
So-
required.
Unfortunately, or the cost of transparency, not unfortunate transparency, but unfortunately, there is a cost to transparency, and that's the BXB.
And the reverse side
State
is,
legislature does as well, right?
the reverse side is that the Verizon and Comcast subscribers in town is decreasing.
Correct,
So
exactly.
that's hurting.
And that was
the
my
long-term contracts.
overall big point, saying, where do we get the money from?
Yeah.
It would come out of the general operating fund.
Eventually,
I have to.
but not yet. Okay, so we're ready to take a vote on this, Kashava?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Gary?
I,
George?
Yes, aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Tony?
Aye.
Becky?
Aye.
And Moran? Aye. Okay, and that is no impact on the taxes.
Can I just ask a question? Who negotiates that fee?
So Gary,
hold on 1 second.
okay,
Sorry.
we have a question.
Hold on,
Okay.
please. If you have Comcast or Verizon, part of what you pay comes back to us.
Oh, I thought it was only for.
Sorry.
That's okay. Who's on the committee that negotiates that contract?
It's myself, Wes, what's his name, Bhatia?
Jay Bhatia.
Yeah. Rajan, and the lawyer.
Okay,
Joe
and that's,
Joe Fair? Joe Fair?
I don't think so.
are you specifically,
There's a
John?
guy named McKay from Littleton that was at the meeting.
Okay, and you're talking about the contract with BXB-TV, or you're talking about the Verizon contracts?
Both, really.
Okay, so that's the group that does the Verizon,
So the Verizon contract's already done.
not Verizon, the
Comcast is
cable.
working right now.
That's the group that does the cable.
Yeah.
And then who does the BXB-TV one?
Select board. Yeah, I don't know whether it's.
Oh, that's the select board's purview. So it'd be Mike would handle that
Okay.
with BXB-TV.
Okay.
Well, go ahead, you can ask.
I mean, do they have a technical background or they've negotiated with these people before?
For which committee? The one for the cable?
Select board, for example.
So for the select board one, the attorney that's in there doing the negotiation does have a technical background with that type of negotiation.
And my understanding is he does other towns. This is like
Correct.
his job.
Oh,
It's not from our complement.
yeah.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
He's not from Copeland and Page. His job, his function is doing these kind of contracts for various towns, not just Boxborough. So he's doing these kind of contracts all over the place. The attorney is.
Okay.
Okay, next, Department Revolving Fund expense limits. So just a quick on this one. All of these different revolving accounts, revolving funds have an upper limit of what they can run through for expenses. And we have to vote that every year. This year, if I'm not mistaken, the recreation one is increasing pretty significantly from 35,000 to 120,000. But everything else pretty much stays the same.
And just so everyone's clear, this is not all the revolving funds. This is just,
This is the ones that we need to set legal limits for every year, and there's other funds.
correct.
And we need to be careful because there's funds and then there's revolving funds.
Right.
These are the revolving funds that they cannot spend. They too need a town hall approval authorization to spend out of these funds.
Right, because you'll notice the ambulance is not on this one, and that is revolving.
But that is a fund. But it's, right, it's a revolving fund.
Right.
It's money we put money in, but it's for one purpose only,
That's right.
to buy an ambulance. Right, whereas we're increasing the RecCom all programs because we're gonna start paying human people out of that. Human people is not what I meant to say, but yeah.
Supposed to robotic.
Employees, yeah, exactly.
Okay, I move we recommend the revolving fund expenses.
I'll second that.
Okay, is there any questions on
I
this?
just got one.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being a real pain. What's a library fine revolving fund expense limit?
I don't know why they would have, I don't know, Mike, do you have that answer? I mean, I know what library fines are.
I do too.
What expenses would they pay out of that?
I don't know.
I mean, presumably, they could pay, whatever, they could offset some of their library expenses, correct?
Or they can buy books because you have not
Right, I
returned
was
your
just
book.
gonna say the same thing.
Right.
Like, if you don't return your book and they charge you, but the thing is we don't charge for overdue library
Well,
books.
that's what I was gonna say. We don't have any fines.
Right. So we could wipe this out, but we'll put it up for next year.
We don't have any fines?
No.
They don't charge fines anymore for overdue library books.
Wow, okay.
Even if they're from a different library.
Okay. All right, so John, did that answer your question?
No, it didn't, but it's okay. I'll table it for next year.
Okay, and then maybe we can talk to Sean, Mike, and see if we can just get rid of this if they don't actually have any money going into it.
I think in the past, we used to actually hire lawyers to go after people that didn't, return books.
Oh my God.
There
Dollars.
was a person,
Was that for collection?
yeah, there was a person
Wow.
who was just keeping documents that they don't know really.
Yeah, Mr. Bookman after them.
That's crazy, right? Okay, let's take this vote. Kashava?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Okay, that was quite the pause.
Aye.
Okay, Bob, Tony, Becky, and Maria, aye. Okay. And again, there's no,
Cut and paste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's Bob anyways, because he's the
Bob,
library.
you're the one, you're the recommendation on that one. Okay,
Wait, why me?
Because you're the library liaison.
That's more than library.
okay, I'll just for the recent state of the vote.
That was the most important part.
Okay. Police and fire injury coverage,
I move we recommend the police and fire injury coverage transfer.
Second,
okay. Does everybody know what this is, or do we need to explain? You sure? George?
No, I don't know.
Okay. I mean,
I don't want to slow things down.
no, that you, listen, we have time to vote these, and the only way you're gonna ever learn them is if we explain them to you as we go, unless,
This is
you
the
know, it's fine. So, if we have an officer who goes out on injury, we have this fund, and, we replenish the fund. We hadn't done that in a couple of years because it sort of fell a little bit off the radar until Mike came in and we had a conversation. But basically, and Mike, if I'm wrong, tell me this. We use this fund to pay, to cover for the officer that's out, that gets reimbursed by workman's comp, officer of fire. Workman's comp reimburses us, so we use this fund to pay out the coverage for that firefighter or the officer. And then when the workman's comp check comes in, it goes into this account.
Sort of.
Sort of? Did I get it
Well,
wrong?
Yeah, just in the terminology. So workers' comp is available to most employees. Workers' comp is not available for firefighters or police officers. And it's very similar to workers' comp. It's a little more comprehensive because they're more apt to have to work in a hazardous environment. So it's called injured on duty coverage. It operates much the same. So what happens is, just like Maria said, we pay out of this fund. At some point, our insurance company, Cabot, they will reimburse the town for 2/3 the cost of that officer being out up to a certain limit. And then the portion that they don't cover, then we pay. There are certain times where now to declare somebody as being eligible for injured on duty, that's the responsibility of the chief. So the chief is the one who's going to look over the report and say, yes, they're eligible for injured on duty or not. And in most cases, we're going to get reimbursed by the insurance company, like I said, for up to 2/3 of that. There are some cases where a chief may decide that we're going to cover this person, and there might be a loophole where the insurance company says, no, we're not going to reimburse for that. And we had a case of one of these 4 or 5 years ago where the town should have covered one of our employees on injured on duty, even though the insurance company didn't reimburse the town. And we're being sued for that, and legitimately so. The employee was correct, the town was wrong. And what happened was the chief didn't make the determination. The town administrator at the time made the determination, and I think it was based on the fact that the insurance company wasn't going to reimburse, and that's wrong. The chief has to make the decision, and I would back up either chief on their decision to do that. So that's kind of what it's about. But basically, you were right. I just wanted everybody to hear the exact terminology, though.
Sorry, I used to work in Tom because
But one
in
other
my business world,
comment,
that's what it is.
I thought the money does not go back to the fund. I thought the money comes in from insurance into free cash. And then that's why we have to replenish this every so often. Or am I incorrect on that?
I think you're right.
You're correct. So it's not, so the money's coming back to the town, but it's not going back into this fund.
I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah, you're correct.
So it's coming out of free cash and it goes back in.
Right, okay. All right, any other discussion on this? Okay, Kashava?
I have a question. So, Mike, what would trigger, what type of events are triggers for this? So if an officer, God forbid, got in a car accident or something, I can understand that, but are there any limits to it? I mean, so this is basically insurance for lack of insurance, correct?
This is for any work-related injury. So it's much the same as workers' compensation. So if somebody falls off a ladder at home, they're not going to get workers' comp. And similarly, a police or fire employee is not going to get injured on duty. But anything related to the job, whether it's in the station, in a vehicle, or out chasing somebody or putting out a fire, and they get injured by someone else or, by an obstacle or something like that, they would be covered. Now, if another party, was liable for it, then we probably wouldn't see that money till later, and then that money would get reimbursed. So the town would pay the employee, then the insurance company would pay the town, and then the insurance company would go after the other insurance company to get repaid.
Okay. So there's just one sentence in here that is confusing me, and I apologize for going into this detail, but it says this fund is used to offset the difference in any insurance payments received to cover the unfilled shifts caused by an employee who is absent during an on-the-job. It's covering the unfilled shifts.
So in other words, you've got two costs when somebody's out injured on duty. You've got the cost because we're going to keep paying the employee while they're home injured from their work site injury. But then you've got to, if you have to fill that shift, and in most cases with fire and police employees, you do have to fill that shift. And then you would also be paying, possibly overtime or at least straight time to fill that shift. There are some cases where you may not have to fill shifts, but yes, this could also be used to make sure that the town has adequate coverage while they're down a person.
And you're covering the 1/3, right? That the compensation is not covered.
Correct. That's correct.
Thanks.
Okay. If there's no more questions, Kashava?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Tony? Becky? And Maria's aye.
Who writes this one?
Police.
Right, it just the word cut and paste from last year.
Okay. I don't think we did it last year.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, police cruiser. This was decreased, Mike, to 76,000?
Correct, from 80,000, which would have been if it was a hybrid vehicle.
Okay, and I can't believe the cost of this vehicle.
Is this a Porsche Taycan or something?
Honestly, I mean, I literally have a GMC Yukon that I bought. It's got every bell and whistle, and I didn't pay close to this amount.
But remember, this includes the lights and communications and all the other fixings too.
Yeah, that's true, it does deck it out, but still, I cannot believe how expensive this
If you had lights, you would have got.
My car has lights and radio as well.
Does it have a grid?
Gary, I'm kidding.
Yeah, he's got a dog, oh, he's got a dog, Maria's got one of those for her dog.
Yeah, okay, so, is there any questions on this?
So
this is a gas, not a hybrid.
But why, what's the language in this says about a hybrid?
Let's see, although transitioning to an off-fleet is eventual goal, I was just talking about the fact that it's not a hybrid.
That's written up that way because the intention of the town was to buy a hybrid. The intention of the police chief was to buy a hybrid. And I think there are definitely going to be questions at town meeting from some people about why are we not buying an electric or a hybrid? So the chief was trying to get it across why, in fact, that has been researched, but this is the better option to go with gasoline at this time.
So the language here is saying we are not buying an electric or a hybrid police car.
Right.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, good, yep, all right, I just want to make sure the language agrees with what we're trying to do.
Is there any other questions?
So did I already move this?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, actually, I'm sorry, 1 second though. I mean, the hybrid, was it the hybrid police cars or the electric police cars?
We have on order a hybrid. We have on order a hybrid. Eventually, the goal is apparently to go electric, which I think is crazy, but that's my personal opinion on electric vehicles. So
hold on 1 second. So Mike, the police officer's experience was that with hybrid, it was a problem, which is somewhat surprising.
So there are issues actually going on with both hybrid and electric.
Okay, fine.
Acton has gone, I think at this point, to mostly electric and some hybrid. The chief has talked with them. He's also spoken with the chief in Hingham as well as Falmouth and a couple other towns where they have moved to either electric or hybrid or mixed fleet. And those two towns in particular, Hingham and Falmouth, are actually taking a hiatus from that because of issues they're having with maintenance and reliability on the hybrids and the electrics. And that's not something that anyone believes is going to be a problem forever. But for right now, where it's fairly new to emergency vehicles, in this case, police vehicles, these other two towns have decided, and in the Hingham's case, their chief is really pro-environment and he wants to see all their vehicles go electric. He has even said, this is the time right now when we need to be going back to gas until we can, have more reliability and more test data out there on the vehicles.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was wrong, you had not moved it yet.
Oh, okay, so I move that we recommend the police vehicle.
I'll second that.
okay. Is there any other questions? Okay. Kushaba?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Tony? Becky? And Maria? And the tax impact?
The tax impact is 4 cents per thousand and $39.
Okay.
And Becky, you're writing that one?
Okay. Next one, mobile data terminals for police. Any questions on this one?
Okay, I move to recommend it.
Second,
Okay,
It's falling asleep over there, you're gonna have to stop.
no, it was just a question.
you can ask the question, you can have discussion now.
Okay, so my question is, Gary, to your comment on the previous one, it really doesn't include all of the communication equipment, the 76,000.
My understanding is they'll transfer some of the things over, but some stuff like lights, I don't think they can transfer over. Whatever they can't transfer includes the packages.
Yes, and this is a separate, this is the decking out of the, yeah, this is the computer, and
Right,
that's
this
a
is the
separate
computer.
contract.
Right, so, yes, Gary, I agree with you that they're gonna move, you know, the 76,000 is gonna outfit it.
Yeah.
I'd like, you know, I hate even asking the question. When you buy a new vehicle for $76,000, do you get one of these in that?
No, this is a separate contract.
You do not get that notebook computer in
Right.
the car. That's this one.
That's this one. This is
So you're
separate.
getting a radio.
You get two-way radios, you get lights, you get the grill.
Yeah.
Roll bar, yeah, that seat.
They go alternate.
No, and I just, for transparency's sake, I want everybody to understand that that's the difference between this and even if it's in my own head, I just want to make sure everybody understands that there are some items that the vehicle will not come with, even though it's a police vehicle.
Right.
This being one.
Right. Won't come with a gun, I mean, it won't come with stuff that,
Well,
you
so
know,
you
is
should.
like personal stuff. Well, okay, well, for $76,000,
Right.
it should actually come with a police officer, for that kind of money, but that's a whole different question. So, okay, is there any question specifically on this mobile dev stuff?
There it is, and I'm fine, you know,
All right.
I'll second it.
Okay.
If I
Kashava?
Aye.
Okay, Mike, sorry, John,
I,
George,
Aye.
Bob, Tony,
Aye.
Becky, and Maria,
Can I
aye.
ask one question after the fact though?
Yeah, you can.
You know, you have 7 data terminals that you're asking for, but how many cruisers are ever on the road at any one time?
You can't switch it around though, I think.
You can?
They can't, no, it's all plugged in, I think.
Yeah, you can move on.
Oh, I thought you saw.
No, it's not a plug, yeah, no.
Oh,
And there's cruisers on the road, but then there's also like the detective's car, the lieutenant's car, K-9 unit's car, the chief's car.
I didn't go for that.
There you go, that's Tony.
Gary, I'm right.
And that's free cash, so there's no taxes. Okay.
Okay, how much longer are we going?
Well, we're gonna go to 9:30.
Okay.
Is that okay? Can we go to 9:30? Because we gotta get this stuff done. Let's see.
oh, look at the time.
9:30. I got you guys for another 23 minutes.
You may want to hold off on this one if you're going to be voting anything next week.
Say again?
You may want to hold off voting this one because I'm still
Okay.
working on this, as I mentioned last week.
Okay, that's fine. I'll hold off on that. Great.
Hey, talk about expensive, look at this thing.
What do you think?
Yeah,
It's not a bargain either.
No vehicles are bargain these days. Okay, okay, professional services for new fire stations. So this is, I don't know if Gary wants to talk to this, but it's the project manager
OPM
for
or
presumably the property on Stowe Road.
Yes.
assuming it goes through, yes.
Okay,
But this includes things like the OPM, this is more than just the OPM, but the owner's project manager will help us get through the architectural design person or team
yep.
and other stuff like that, and guide us the whole way through.
And we'll get us to a point where we can get drawings and estimates and that kind of stuff.
This will also include things like drill, if we have to do any more borings or drilling or whatever else we have to do, wherever we end up.
All right, so originally this was all taxed, but because, is that right, or did we have a free cash originally? No, I think it was all taxed, I don't know, but, and then we reduced it down, and then we put it back up because Mike came back and said we need the full amount. So in order to make the numbers work, this is the thing this year, everything's a little odd, we have 350,000 being raised and 150 in free cash, for a total of $500,000. Are there any questions on this?
I do. I have questions. So how much of the plan is this for?
This is, how much of the plan is it for? This
Yeah.
gets,
It
So-
says bring forward the plans. What does that mean?
So I can answer that. So this does not get you construction, construction plans. This gets you to the point of of actually coming back to what's all the evaluation and costs to bring forward to the town. We're doing enough design work here so that we can come back with a price for this department or for the building that we can reliably vote on.
So this person is supposed to, are they supposed to pick a spot? I'm just trying to get an idea. This is $500,000, right, guys? This is not.
No, we've already, so the building committee has come forward with a spot, 72 Stowe Road.
Okay.
And so this would be to begin looking at that property and putting together the plans and if there's extra engineering that needs to be done. So they've picked the spot and this is to start going towards construction of that spot.
But this is the OPM, right? This is for the.
This includes the
This is-
OPM.
Okay,
This
so
is not
this is
a
for the
shelter.
whole, like, duration of the project. It's not
But the
just,
OPM stays on for the.
it's
The
not
OPM
just,
does. I don't know if this is enough to cover the OPM for the whole building project. We're talking a 2-year project. The OPM will be there that whole time. But initially, the OPM will help us choose an architectural firm, for example. We need at least 3.
I'm concerned with something like this because it's so vague. You know, what is the deliverable of this $500,000?
$20 million.
What are these people to do?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's to bring us to the point where we're, have a completed project in place. There'll be additional funds according for construction,
But
but get us.
without providing any plans for the design.
What you're saying is this should say how many years the OPM is gonna work for this amount of money, right?
No, we don't know.
No, you don't know. You can't do that. Because we don't know how long it's gonna take to get there.
Right, just because the OPM brings to the town votes it down, you gotta do it all over again.
But you can't,
Right,
so,
but you can't tell how long this is gonna,
Right, you can't tell long, right?
well, so what
So
if
you've done
it takes 4 years, is the OPM gonna wanna get paid more? That's not in there.
it's all gonna be under contract, so we're getting into, we can't get into the nitty gritty of that, right? This OPM's coming on board and there'll be a certain, they will have a certain, deliverable that they have to get to do, right?
In reality, deliverables,
Right.
multiple.
And they're not, what are they?
Okay, hold on, go ahead, Gary. Can we give examples from like,
Well, as I said, so there's things that we have to do in preparation for the land, wherever that is. Assuming it's 72 Stowe Road, we've done some borings. But we have to do additional land checking where we want to actually place the building. So that's outside of the OPM's structure. The OPM's function, initial function, is to help us again choose a architectural firm. That's their primary function initially. And then they manage the project all the way through. Town does not manage the construction. The OPM does. They manage the budget for the program, keep us on track, anything like that. But to John's point, I believe we looked at other towns and what they spent for this initial phase. And that's where the number came up. Remember, we dropped it down to 350. And after talking to a number of folks, Mike pushed back and said, we don't think we can do it for 350. We really need 500. Is there exact guidelines on what we're going to do? Not yet. But we've again looked at other towns and what they've done, especially Southborough. We have a Southborough representative on this building committee who did the Southborough fire station and went through a lot of the works. He's guiding us, Captain Malinowski, to be specific. Again, Mike looked at this and said 350 was not sufficient. We don't really need to get to 500. It's a warrant article. If we haven't spent everything, then it will roll into the construction project.
right?
But we want to make sure we have enough funds to get us to the point of construction.
I was gonna say, Mike had a sentence that really showed a deliverable. Basically something to the effect that, okay, plans will come forward that the town will be able to vote on. And it doesn't say that in the article.
So I can help you with that. So
You said it already. I understood what you said.
Yeah, but wait, let him explain why it's not in the summary. Go ahead, Mike.
So I've done a contract extension with Context Architecture, who we've been working with for some time on preparing to get to this stage. And we have some money left And we also reallocated, the select board reallocated a little bit of money from ARPA funds to the tune of just a little over $50,000 to get us from here to this annual town meeting. At this annual town meeting, you'll see some of the deliverables that this will bring, because part of what we're paying this architecture firm for is to get us conceptual drawings. In other words, what's the outside of the building look like, and a little bit of some schematics of the inside. Again, nothing you can build to, but some concepts, because people at town meeting are not gonna vote if we get up there and say, well, it's $40 million and it's gonna look something like. They're gonna need a little more specifics. They're gonna need to know that there is a piece of land that we can build it on. People want to see what's this look like and what functions happen in this building, and then also what gets delivered. So for the $50,000 that we're spending from now till annual town meeting, these folks are looking over the site, but they're also developing the conceptual plans or conceptual drawings to bring to town meeting. And so I have, as I mentioned, I've signed a contract extension with deliverables on it, all spelled out. And we'll be able to tell town meeting, here are the deliverables that are going to come with this, before you vote on this article. I don't have them all spelled out here, because I don't even have, it would take it would take a presentation to show what those deliverables are.
Okay, but I just think in fairness to our taxpayers, those, at a high level, those deliverables should be here for $500,000. That's all. People need to know what they're voting for. And the only
I like the one
Stop, Bob, 1 second. And the only sentence that speaks to it is this last one right here. The funding allows for the hiring of an owner's project manager, yada, yada, yada. I just think it should be included just in the spirit.
You want it included in the summary that's going, okay, but we don't vote on that language. We vote on the dollar amount, and the language itself comes from the select board, so that's outside our purview. So we can make that suggestion to Mike to say to the select board, expand this to show more deliverables, and it's up to them to either expand this or make sure they have it for town meeting. We're like, our purview is strictly the dollar amount, and if you're comfortable with what you've been told from Mike on the deliverables, then that's, you vote on that, based on that. But we can't tell them how to present this, and we can't tell them language to use in this.
Well, yeah, but the point is that we've been arguing a toss over $10,000 cost for community services for a long time, and now this is a $500,000 cost, and we're saying, oh, that's fine, go ahead. I mean, I think John's right. I think we need to have some understanding of how do what's the financial oversight on this, and what is it? I mean, I think it's just very vague to say, here's $500,000, go off and spend it.
You want to wait till the next meeting to vote it? Then may have a select board meeting Monday night.
Well, I think what we're getting to is maybe there is a little bit more detail we can put in here in terms of what is that work plan in that contract.
Well, the detail will be at the presentation at town meeting. The question is, are you saying?
So I think for Gary and I, because we were on the school building project, when I hear project manager, I know exactly what he did for the school building project. So for me, I'm like, yes, it's a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money, but I know exactly what the delivery is going to be. And I know that's hard for everyone else who wasn't on that building project.
Which is the majority of the community.
Well, I understand that, but John, it is up to the select board to sell this to the community,
No,
right?
I understand that. But I understand that in spirit, what we're trying to get at is, and Maria, I understand completely what you're saying, but in spirit, I think it behooves that these articles be more explicit as to what they're delivering for $500,000. And that's not our purview, but I guess that's to Mike.
Right. And we
So
certainly-
I've taken notes on that. I don't know if you need that to vote that tonight, but anyways, I've taken notes on more narrative in the summary on the deliverables for this article.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike.
So do you guys want to hold off on voting
We should
this?
wait.
I think we should hold off from voting this.
Okay.
Some more details. We need some bullet points or some.
Not necessarily on here, though. I mean, if you got bullet points, I want to understand, because I don't know that the select board's going to say, they may say this is enough of a summary, but if
Okay.
Mike comes back and says, here are the deliverables, that we're gonna present to town meeting? Are we good with that?
If there's going to be a presentation at town meeting and we can see that, see something in advance of.
What are those bullet points are going, you're asking us to vote on this. So what are the bullet points?
Okay, so Mike, can we do that then? Even if the select board doesn't want to expand the language in the summary, can, I guess it would be Kristen, can you and Kristen come up with like whatever whatever is ultimately gonna go into your presentation for town meeting, just a bullet point presentation to us?
I bet Jason already has it.
Yeah, I can, between Jason and I, we can come up with a bulleted list for next week.
That would be great.
That's
Okay,
fine.
so okay, so
And
we'll hold
also, if you want, you could go back to that, the ACO article. I was mistaken. It was that's the truck. You can vote on that if you like.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna hold off on this one. We'll go back to the ACO, which is right here. Wow, that's something like hours ago. We're gonna vote this one and then we're gonna call it a night. Does that work for everybody?
Okay, I will be recommending
Okay,
animal control.
Spaz. Well, do not make an motion to adjourn until I look at the, okay, gotta make sure I don't have anything else on the agenda. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Did you do
I did.
it? Okay, I'll second.
Okay, any questions on this one?
Get a hybrid? No, just kidding, just kidding.
John?
And
Is this the truck that was all rusted out? Is that the one we're talking about?
this is the animal control, it's also rusted out. So this is gonna be funded through 45,000 existing funds in the revolving account from the other towns and 21,000 out of stabilization. Okay?
Sorry, one more time, revolving fund, and what's the other?
Stabilization,
How much stabilization?
21,000.
Thank you.
okay?
Mike, just a quick question. We're not gonna talk about at this town meeting, or are you gonna talk about expanding this to other towns?
I could talk about it at town meeting. I'm not there yet because I don't know how many towns that will be.
Right, exactly, because I mean, it really doesn't have anything to do with this, other than in future, it could be less money out of stabilization.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Right, exactly. But without hard details, I wouldn't bring it up at all. Is my-
Yeah, and I don't think it's worth the conversation at town meeting. I mean, we've
I
got,
agree. Yeah, I agree. It's not worth bringing up that it's gonna go to other towns.
Okay, is there any other questions? Okay, Kashaba?
Aye.
John?
I,
Gary?
Yes.
George?
Okay, aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Tony? Becky? And Maria, aye. Okay, Stan?
Who's writing this one, Becky?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's part of the police, yeah, okay, stand by before we,
I haven't said
I know, but I'm waiting for you to do the adjourn thing, and then it's like non-debatable, I just wanna make sure on the agenda we have everything. Yeah, I guess we do. Is there any really important committee reports that we have to report on? No, okay, we're meeting again, next week, who couldn't make next week?
I could, but I can't.
You can, okay, so next week we're back in the Grange.
This is so stressful.
Why?
Being in charge of this.
Okay, you're not gonna be in charge of it next. Listen, and then if we ever have to do this owl thing again, someone else has to be in charge.
Okay, fine.
Okay. You did great. You did better than me with the Sharon stuff. Okay, I'll
I
take,
move to adjourn.
okay,
Second.
okay. Let's see, Kashaba?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
George?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Tony?
Aye.
And Becky and me. Aye. Okay.
Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
guys, night, guys. Thanks, Mike.